Hello there.
Hello. Welcome in.
To the first community episode. We are going to be talking Disney Plus Day. Was hoping that we were going to get more information from today, but looks like we're not going to. But regardless, we wanted to try to do this anyway. These will be happening when big events are announced and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for future things. But on that note, let's get into it.
You never would have made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan, but you might make it as mine.
All right, let's start with our first two guests. First,
bring him in.
Here.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Happy to be here.
Second appearance on the podcast. She's a seasoned vet now. And first time forward into the black or Chase. How's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh,
All right.
just enjoying what we got from Disney Plus Day, but guys, I'm gonna start off. Chase.
Yeah.
What got you into this little thing that we like to call Star Wars?
My dad, when I was like 4 years old, like the original VHS tapes of the Star Wars original trilogy, like years before the prequels came out. So just he showed it to me. I can't even remember which one. I think he probably even showed me Return of the Jedi first. Because I think it's like, as like a very small kid, it's probably the most visually pleasing to watch when you don't understand anything that's going on. Because I distinctly remember like putting that tape in the VCR before school and just like fast forwarding to like my favorite parts and watching them before the bus came. Like that's how Star Wars started for me. And then as soon as like the prequel started coming out and all that, I was 12 when Phantom Menace came out, so that got me probably the most into it, was watching stuff like Darth Maul, do the double-bladed lightsaber in Phantom Menace, and just like, oh my god, seeing that in the theater as the first time, seeing the special editions in the theater when those were released. That's where it all started for me. So
that's
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I wasn't even alive when the Phantom Menace came out.
Wow. Okay.
That's the scary part. That's the scary part. It's like
2000, baby.
I was 5 and that was actually my first. As people that are recurring, I went when I was 5 years old. That was my first ever theater experience of Star Wars. And
mine was The Lion King.
Really?
Yeah.
And you know what? That's an interesting thing, because I would have killed to have gone to The Lion King.
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing it in the theaters. I was very young, but yeah, I do remember that was like the first. We went to the movie theater. I'd never seen a movie in a movie theater, and we went to go see The Lion King when it came out.
No, yeah. So obviously we're talking about Disney Plus Day. We can talk anything from Pixar to Star Wars, but let's be real, Star Wars is probably going to be the topic. But funny thing, we didn't get much. So it's going to be interesting. Here, what were you doing today? Were you still kind of working? Were you paying attention? What was your vibe from the day?
Yeah, well, my brain was split today, I have to be honest, because I am also a hardcore Swiftie, and Taylor Swift's Red re-release album came out today, technically at midnight. So that was a big part of my heart. But then also I had Disney Plus Day, and so I believed the rumors. I was so sure there was going to be a Kenobi trailer. So I was like, yes, this is it. I'm here. I'm ready for it. And it never came. So I love what we got. Don't get me wrong. I just I think this was the last time I'm gonna get burnt by rumors. I'm just not gonna get my hopes up going forward. I'll just take what we get.
Kira, have you seen Under the Helmet yet?
Yes, I watched it a few hours ago.
I loved it.
Oh, it was great. I loved seeing all the different people. We can get into that. I don't know.
Go ahead, get it.
No, I was just curious if you've seen it, and then we can dive into it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. I knew a lot of pieces of that, but it was really fun to see just kind of the myth that's come with the character from so little, right? And then like I loved everything from like when they're originally creating his armor and he was going to be like the super stormtrooper, and George Lucas was like, we need a cape. Some guy was like, here's a towel.
Yeah, that was
like,
great.
Shit like that I think is so great because now it's this, like amazing cape. It's like a huge part of the costume. So it's just wild to me that like something that has such mythology, like is so huge in the Star Wars universe, was just like, yeah, I found some like railroad paint, and I don't know, I just picked the colors, and someone said T-visor, and I don't know, it just happened, like it was so organic. It kind of blew my mind. What about you, Char? What did you think?
Oh my god, it was so funny when they were talking about that volleyball beach towel thing.
Yeah.
And I was gonna make a video about this too, about some things that stood out to me. I completely forgot all the other concept arts for Boba Fett's helmet. There was one of them that's Reiko Hardeen's helmet. There's one with the same signet as Fen Rao, and then there's one where Boba Fett had the J guys.
I saw that. I was like,
yeah,
oh
I was
my
like,
gosh.
and in that parade in California that they had, he actually had the J guys on his helmet. So I thought maybe it was,
Oh, wow.
at the time they might have thought that was a set in stone thing for the character, but that changed. Well, that change was successful, and obviously they put the J guys at a future character that we might know. But
Yeah. Dave Filoni's so good at that, like repurposing little things of Star Wars and just making it his own.
He's a genius.
Yeah, he is.
No, yeah. Chase, what did you think of it? Did you
I have not seen the thing, but I do want to say, Kier, I have a very small record collection, but one of those records is Speak Now.
Oh, amazing.
It's the double vinyl one. Oh, it's one of my favorite
I think
records.
that's going to be her next album she re-releases, but that's
I'll probably buy it.
No, yeah.
But no, I have not seen it actually interests me. I'm not the biggest Boba Fett fan. I mean, his best appearance was obviously the best Star Wars content of all time, which was the holiday special. His introduction was his star performance. But no, I was
surprised George Lucas was talking about I'm surprised they got George Lucas to talk about the holiday special and not like bash it. I was like, oh, just anyway. I didn't mean to interrupt. It was just
it was so cool to hear what Lucas, Burt, and Kennedy had to say about Boba Fett. I was like, man, these three people have been so instrumental to Star Wars, and just hearing them specifically talk about Boba Fett just made me smile so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We just got somebody else in. Julia.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
I'm doing all right. I had a migraine earlier today, and now I don't. So like pretty much any day that goes that way, I'm gonna feel better. So.
Is it because of the stress you were getting from the Kenobi stuff that we didn't get, or?
No. So I had been trying to tell people for a while that like I didn't think we were going to be getting anything, and it seems like the hype train had already left the station, and so I really wasn't surprised. I just graded papers all day and like just kind of hung out with some people on stream. I was on Element 7's stream this morning, just kind of hanging out, and we had a good time just talking. But truly, I think, I understand people's frustration, but I honestly, and look at a couple videos I made earlier, was not expecting to get a trailer, certainly. It would have been nice to get some information, particularly about Andor, because I feel like that show has been in production for 5,000 years.
Yeah.
But I also know that I'm a lot more chill about it than people, and you can't really control necessarily your reaction to things like that. So.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, Julia, you are the perfect person to talk to, especially because, like, you have that, like, you obviously are a teacher, so you have, like, the perspective of, like, take things with a grain of salt and just be like, hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Because I feel like everybody on Twitter was losing their minds.
Well, and that's the thing that was so frustrating to see is like this poor social media intern probably who's working for Disney Plus. It's not their fault, right? And they're getting 5,000. I was hoping for Kenobis, and like it gets a little bit obnoxious, and it's kind of like I don't ever want to brag on other sort of fans, but it's kind of like it's not, I don't want to say entitlement because that's not really the right word, but this idea that we're sort of demanding a certain thing. I think my biggest concern with that is that it ends up making people really sad, and I hate to see people despairing over not getting something. And so that's the thing that really breaks my heart is like now you have a bunch of people who are upset because they got overly worked up, and like I don't know. You hate to see it happen because you see people having their days ruined, and that's never fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just I feel like, so when that sizzle reel got leaked yesterday, I was hearing theories from today that people were saying, "Oh, Disney didn't want to give us
Right.
anything after that," which seems really, really petty, and I just don't think Disney would
No.
do that. I feel like that's financially like really dumb to do. I
Yeah.
truly just feel like they and anybody pitch in after I'm done talking. I feel like they didn't have a whole lot to show because Andor just recently just ended filming, and so did Kenobi. And obviously we're not getting anything from Mando 3 because they're currently doing stuff. I feel like this was a missed opportunity for sure, but I completely understand why nothing was released.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any interesting takes on that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go for it. Go for it.
I just wanted to say, like, it seems like it was Marvel and maybe Pixar heavy, and was there a Disney Plus Day last year, or was this the first Disney Plus Day? Because I don't remember it last year. And if it is the first, maybe it was more of a test, I don't know how many people are going to watch this. I don't know how big of a deal it's going to be to fans. So if Lucasfilm didn't have anything, maybe that was just intentional. I don't know.
I was in Jedi Connor's TikTok stream this morning while he was waiting for all of us were waiting for something, and it seemed like yes, there was a like actual full live stream that they did last year for Disney Plus Day. But yeah, that clearly didn't happen. We just got tweets basically the whole day. I mean, yeah, kind of going off what Julia said, like, yeah, it sucks we didn't get it, and it sucks people are upset, but like, I mean, it's tough because it's like no one was promised anything. We were all just going off of rumors.
Yeah.
I don't, and I know we were kind of hinting on this earlier. I honestly, it's the worst news I think anyone wants to hear. I don't think we're going to hear anything until May. I think they're going to hold off on all Star Wars content, except for they're going to release Book of Boba Fett, and then on Star Wars Day, that's when they're going to do a huge content drop. They might even release Kenobi. It's like available now to stream.
So, Beth Mara J. Skywalker had talked about, and her and Camilla have had conversations about possibly having Kenobi released in March, which makes sense because then you can have the finale. If you do it late March, early April, you can have the finale on the week of May the 4th.
That makes sense.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah,
because
and
then
isn't
you
it May the 4th on a Wednesday? They're shifting to Wednesday releases, or
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And May the 4th
Yeah.
is on a Wednesday, so it seems like that's going to line up with something. But also remember, last year we were expecting a bunch of news on May the 4th, and we didn't get it then either. We got the Bad Batch release. We got 2 episodes, and it was great. But I just feel like very old and crotchety, and like I just kind of telling everybody to be like, hey, everybody, just calm down. Like I know that's not helpful. I know you don't want to hear that, but like, like find an animal to pet. Like I feel bad because I mean, look at my sweatshirt, right? Like I want to see the Obi-Wan show. I love everything about this character, but sorry, I go on a rant. I just feel like
trust me, I'm gonna ask
my
you
like
something
mother
about it
hen
later.
vibe where I'm just like everyone is so upset, and I knew this was gonna happen, and like I just want to tell people to like I don't know.
No, we need more of that energy, Julia. We totally do. People being like, chill, it's okay, we're gonna be fine. We need more of that.
And I don't want to condescend to anyone and say that like people's feelings aren't valid, because I think we can all understand this idea of feeling silly about how much we care about Star Wars and feeling like, man, I don't want to be overly emotional, but at the same time, like, I'm not so concerned with people's emotional reactions. The real life sort of upset that it causes with people always makes me, sad, because this should be something that brings people joy. And so to see those emotions kind of boil over into people arguing and fighting, and like, it's upsetting. So.
No, yeah, because Disney is a way to bring people together. I feel like that it's a company that does tend to bring people together, and especially Star Wars. Star Wars brings people together, but recently it seems like a lot of the nitpicky stuff has kind of torn the fan base apart. And one thing I will say is that us getting more content kind of takes away from the toxicity a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine kind of thing as an example. If you get more content, like, people tend to focus on that than focus on the other things that are going on. But here I'm gonna move you out.
Great. It's good to see y'all.
Anything that you want to plug or anything like that?
No, I mean, go watch Julia's videos. The ones she mentioned, they're great. I'm Mandalorian on TikTok. Y'all are awesome. May the force be with you.
We might see you later.
Okay.
But we'll be back with one more spot. We've got Aiden talking Star Wars topics, man. Yeah, you're in. Yeah, you're
muted.
You're muted. Oh, shoot.
Sorry about that. That's my bad.
There you go.
How's it going, everyone? Going great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm kind of where Julia is, just in the middle. I feel like
just vibing, just hanging out.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not happy, but I'm also not devastated. Yeah. But I think we'll get over it.
I get that completely. Yeah.
Yeah, Chase, what is your thought process of the whole Disney day, like how it went down and what was going on?
Kind of like what JJ just said in the chat of like, what a weird Disney Plus day. It's super weird because I think we're now in this era where if a company wants to announce something, they're doing this huge spectacle for it. When we look at, like video games or TV shows, like there's usually a live stream or a YouTube video that like demonstrates that. This feels like an announcement from 15 years ago, just announcing it on Twitter. I think it's weird that they present it this way, but I think overall, even though we're all huge Star Wars fans, this was a really successful Disney Plus day, because like the ones I'm not the biggest like Disney nerd in the world, but like the ones that I was like taking notes on was Hocus Pocus 2 with the original cast is happening. Like that's a wild announcement just to throw out there when like, like it's been 25 years since that movie came out. A live action Pinocchio with Tom Hanks as like Giuseppe, or Geppetto, whatever.
Classic Disney character Giuseppe.
Yeah, the guy at the pizza place downstairs. Rescue Rangers, like that's a super cool thing. I'm cool with that. And then the Baymax show, like the Baymax trailer, like for me just made Disney Plus, like as someone who's not into like the superhero stuff, so I know all the Marvel people are really happy. The Baymax trailer for me, like, okay, that was actually a really cool announcement. Like Big Hero 6 was one of my favorite movies that they've done recently, and just seeing that trailer and having like, oh, we'll have a little animated series that's just really cute of Baymax. Totally into that idea. Again, of course, I wanted to see the Kenobi trailer. I wanted to see some news on Rogue Squadron. I wanted to see something about Andor, just throw in like a interaction with Cassian and Jabba just to make everyone really happy. But it didn't happen. There was no confirmation it was. And I think that's the biggest disconnect is it was all rumors and speculation of what we were going to get. And and I feel like we've had so many accurate rumors recently, with Hayden Christensen coming back into 2 live shows and stuff like that, which is cool. But there was no saying like, Disney never came out and said, hey, get ready for Andor, get ready for Kenobi, get ready for Rogue Squadron, get ready for all this stuff. That was never said. And so, it's tough. It sucks, but it is what it is. And it's like,
I mean, JJ's not wrong. I kind of feel like this. I'm almost glad that they gave us nothing. Because I
Yeah.
mean, it's like it just makes it builds things up. Its speculation does happen.
But at the
Char,
same time, Luke, I know that you did want something.
I I I did.
We all want
I
something.
did. I did. I wanted a trailer with Vader igniting his lightsaber at the end and doing the whole coot and caboodle. Am I crushed? Am I devastated that it didn't come out? I'm okay with it because that just makes the anticipation a lot
Yeah.
higher.
Well, yeah.
No, go ahead, Julia.
Well, I was just going to say, I think looking at it from the business point of view, the goal here is to get people to subscribe to Disney Plus. And so I think keeping in mind, like, based on what information I'm this is not something I know a lot about. From what I understand, though, like Claudia says on TikTok, who works in social media, made a couple of videos about the fact that Disney Plus premiered during quarantine, and as a result had a level of success that was kind of unexpected. And so now you have these investors who are expecting Disney to somehow one up the level of engagement and subscription they had when everybody was literally stuck at home. And so the way investors expect constant growth is sort of putting them in this position of like, well, they weren't expecting to have a captive audience, and then they did. And so like, how do you top that? And like, that's kind of the capitalist machine in terms of like Disney as a business has investors who want to make their money back. Now, is it strange they didn't include Star Wars? Yes. I mean, part of me, tinfoil hat, is like someone said at one point, maybe they're trying to like find the leakers. And I was like, yeah, maybe. Like maybe they gave them wrong information specifically to see who it is that's giving, the credible information. It's kind of a conspiracy theory, but stranger things have happened.
That's
so I
true.
think considering like what they want is subscriptions. And the reality is, there's a lot of different kinds of content, and I almost wonder if they think all the Star Wars fans they're going to get are already subscribed. Like
that could very well
if
very well
they're
be.
thinking everybody, they're here for Mandalorian, they're here for Boba Fett, here for the Bad Batch. Like, how many more Star Wars fans are there that you're going to get for Obi-Wan? Like, I expect there are still quite a few more casual fans
Oh yeah.
who will come in specifically for the Obi-Wan show, but like, I don't know. I don't work in social media. I don't work in marketing. I don't work in the film industry. I think we're all just speculating the best we can. But that their goal is to get people to subscribe. And unfortunately, they're working with a very strange like last couple of years in terms of the growth that they're expected to have now, which doesn't seem sustainable.
Yeah. Aiden, what did you think of the overall day for Disney Plus Day?
I mean, there was this video on Twitter, like I think from the official Disney Plus account, and when I saw the Bad Batch Season 2 logo and the Andor logo flash by, it made my day. Why, you may ask? It's because these things are guaranteed. They're happening, right? Where, with the whole situation with Rogue Squadron, it was announced last year. It's now delayed, I think indefinitely at this point in time. So what was kind of a sure thing back in the day is no longer sure, but just that little reinforcement of having the Bad Batch Season 2 logo and having the Andor logo and having the Obi-Wan Kenobi Sizzler, whatever you want to call it, Star Wars TV under Disney up to this point in the past 2 years, there's they've been on point every single time. Mandalorian Season 1, Season 7 of Clone Wars, Mandalorian Season 2. We're getting the Book of Boba Fett, and that was especially boosted today, people's excitement for that, with the documentary we got on the character of Boba Fett and his origins and all sorts of cool stuff. Just in the section about the concept art of Boba Fett, there were so many different aspects they pulled and put into shows like the Clone Wars. Like I saw the emblem Boyle has on his helmet on both his Phase 1 and Phase 2 armor, and the Jag eyes that Rex has famously, and all sorts of cool different stuff. And like it just was a really cool makeup for the documentary, going over all the different actors who have portrayed Boba Fett, and especially the part with Jeremy Bullock. I kind of it was really touching to see that they acknowledge like this character has had such an impact, right? Despite the fact we've barely ever seen him in the films, and we're getting a very his own series, which I think is really cool. So overall, am I slightly disappointed that we didn't get more stuff? Kind of, yes. But overall, with the reinforcement I got today and with the excitement like build up for Book of Boba Fett specifically, I'm a happy Star Wars fan.
Honestly, very very well said, Aiden. And Book of Boba Fett's going to be coming here not even 2 months from now. We got a month and a half away until it drops. And I think a lot of people are going to undermine this show. I think this show has a lot to give to us. And what's going to happen with the Hutt cartel and what Boba Fett's going to do and what Fennec's going to be about. There's a lot of stuff to fill in this episode, or not this episode, in the show. And even though we didn't get a Kenobi teaser, we did get a little bit of that concept art, which brought up a lot of conversations. I want to see if any of you guys have any thoughts about that art and what your first initial reaction was to seeing Obi-Wan on that animal, or Vader and Obi-Wan clashing sabers. Let me hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, we'll start with Jay or Julia.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say, I'm glad
yeah.
the Eopes, or Eopes, I don't know how to pronounce the name of the
Are
animals.
they? Yeah, Eopes.
They're, they deserve to get some credit, some attention. I'm happy that they're getting some love. I've read so many fan fictions about Obi-Wan in which those Eopes are like central. And so I'm like, if I'm not going to get these, do I even want to watch the show? Where are my space camels? I'm here for the
little
space
things
camels.
matter.
Exactly. There's no space camels. It's like, it's not authentic. But yeah, if someone else wants to go, I can't shut up. So please feel free. I have no filter.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the concept art, and I don't know, just seeing, even though in that little sizzle reel, just seeing Obi-Wan doing fight choreography again, or Ewan McGregor doing it, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, with the training mask on and everything. Yeah, he's really trying to get into shape.
And
I'm loving it.
Well, and also COVID.
Yeah.
No, those weren't like medical masks. Those were training masks to like
not
work
knock
up
your
his
teeth
body.
out.
And, yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I posted something last night about like we need to give up on the Obi-Wan Anakin arc that has been going on since the prequels. We need to move past it. I am excited for this Obi-Wan show. And I'm really happy to see Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor back at it. I am very curious, especially with that picture of the lightsaber clash. How are they going to tie that in? Because I feel like even with the prequels, like there's so many continuity errors. They're so small, but they're there. And I hope that this show is so well done that even if there are continuity errors, like it just works out, because it's like, whatever, that was a great scene. It fits well enough into the original trilogy that it doesn't matter that much. Like if we do see Hayden, maybe we see Darth Vader without the mask as Hayden Christensen for the first time. And it is, a fight with Obi-Wan and Vader, but, we see their faces this time, which would be cool. And I'm sure the writers that are working on Star Wars right now are so unbelievably talented that I have complete faith in everything that they've been doing. I guess I will say as like a kind of like a closing thing, it does. I don't think this is how it is, but a lot of people will interpret it that Disney doesn't care about Star Wars based on this Disney Plus day. It's just like, you didn't do anything for Star Wars. You have all these shows in the pipeline and you couldn't show us anything. There's so many reasons as to why it probably is, but we know how the other side of this fandom is, and they're going to use that. Disney ruined Star Wars. I mean, we do know that like the reason that Disney Plus is successful is The Mandalorian. Like when the first season was over, they lost subscribers. Disney Plus for me, honestly, for the recent months, it's been the Simpsons channel for me. Just going through the entirety of the Simpsons again. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I'm stealing my sister's Disney Plus account. But no, like I think there will be a part of this fandom that will use the fact that they spent so much time on the Marvel stuff today and so much time on the Pixar stuff today, which I'm glad they did, because these are properties they need to maintain brand awareness of. But the fact that we got the sizzle reel and a 20-minute documentary, like a special on Boba Fett, it wasn't a full like feature-length documentary, and a lot of people are going to use this, unfortunately, and be like, Disney does not actually care about Star Wars. This is why the sequels are so bad. This is why Disney is ruining the franchise, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We know the song and dance. And if I were in charge, I would say just throw an interview with some of the cast members of some of the other series, just to make sure that the Star Wars does have a strong presence, because the people at Disney aren't stupid. They know they're on thin ice with a lot of people, and they know that it's unjustified, but it's the reality of it. Right. So
yeah, very well said too. Like the interview would be a good idea, but it's not enough to where it'll drive the internet crazy. No. But it will get people interested. Hearing, even if it's about Book of Boba, you got Samwera, you have Ming-Na Wen, you have, and then for Kenobi you can have Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Sung Kang, Kumail Nanjiani, talking about their roles and what this story is going to look like, and their personal opinions when they're, being filmed.
I was actually more shocked they didn't actually give Hayden Christensen a little bit of spotlight during that sizzle reel. I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me that the sort of Star Wars, or Disney doesn't care about Star Wars. Why are we like? You make a good point. Like, the sort of fandom Menace people are going to use that, and that it sucks when you see that happening, and you're just like, oh, good, here's ammunition, and like, it's always sort of unfortunate. The idea that like they're squabbling, like we have to sort of choose a side, and like they have children and they love one more than the other, is like a really unhelpful dynamic. I know it feels that way, and to a certain extent it might be true. But I also think there's so much happening behind the scenes that we just can't know. I don't know what the marketing teams are like. I don't know what level of preparation or completion any of the shows are in terms of special effects and having footage that they can show and what footage gets shown. It seems like the marketing team at Lucasfilm isn't as on point with Marvel, but also consider a lot of what we got from Marvel were just logos re-announcing shows that we already know are going to happen. And so did we want logos re-announcing shows that were going to happen with Star Wars? Would have made us happy? I think, you give a mouse a cookie, it's going to want a glass of milk to go with it. Like, to a certain extent, when you give fans something, you sort of up their expectations, and that can lead to sort of unhealthy relationship. When it comes to the concept art, I don't know why people seem to be forgetting season 6 of The Clone Wars, where Yoda has his journey to becoming a Force ghost, in which he has to go through these trials in a vision. Seems like if Obi-Wan is training to become a Force ghost, one of those trials might be facing Anakin/Vader, or facing the fact that Anakin is Vader. I don't think they need to meet physically. I think the idea that this could be a Force connection, this could be Obi-Wan as part of his trials becoming a Force ghost, kind of facing different challenges in his life. In fact, that's something I'm really hoping for, because I think the Force vision a framework would allow the show to talk about Satine in like a brief voiceover, to mention his experiences with Qui-Gon as a Padawan, to pull in all these little pieces of his life in these little ways, as he sort of the idea that he has to face his past in order to sort of, become one with the Force. Like, to me, that makes perfect sense as a way to build in catching people up with sort of what he's been through. So I don't think this worry that like, oh, if they meet before A New Hope, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I still feel like it's going to be a metaphysical battle a la Yoda and Darth Bane in season 6 of the Clone Wars, right? Where he has to face all these terrible things. And that's my take, is that, and that concept art specifically, someone jokingly on Twitter was like, Obi-Wan's wearing a robe. He didn't take it off. This is a vision. And I'm like, that's actually a very good Very
Yeah.
good point.
Not a bad thing. Chase, gonna take you out.
All right.
Go ahead and plug your stuff, your fantastic content. Go follow him, by the way. He does great stuff.
Yeah, right down here. Forward into the black on the TikTok. I also have a Twitch that I have not used in years since my speedrunning days are over. But I'm almost at 1,000. Almost there.
There you go.
So thank you everyone who's subscribed to Forward in the Black on TikTok. Once it's at 1,000, I'll probably start streaming again on the TikTok and doing live streams. So
I'll be following you back right now.
heck yeah.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Char.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Thank you guys so much. But yeah, no, this was fun. If I'm back on later, cool. If not, I'll probably be in the voice chat. But thank you guys.
All right. Awesome.
Thank you
Thanks,
for your
Chase.
time, dude.
Bye.
See you guys.
Nice meeting you.
All right. Where did Luke
He's
go?
gone.
I
He
have
just disappeared.
no
Okay,
idea.
cool. Now I'm in charge of the Podwans podcast. How you guys doing?
Well,
Uh,
if I could give
myself out.
if
That
I
was
could
not
give my
okay.
2 cents on the concept art.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
A lot of
Hello.
a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool little Easter eggs. I mean, even snow speeders showed up in the concept art, which I thought was kind of a cool touch. We saw what looked to be an Inquisitor of some sort. A lot of people were saying it looked like the second sister. I won't, reveal the identity, just for spoilers for Fallen Order, despite the fact that it's been out for a couple years. But I know how people get on spoilers, so and just like how Deborah Chow was talking about, this is a time where the Jedi are being hunted. That really backs up the point that we're not just going to get Vader. We're also probably going to get Inquisitors in this show. And to the point where people are, upset about, what we did or what we didn't get today, my argument would be at least we're getting content for Star Wars. At least we're getting TV shows. Back before Disney, the only TV shows or the other content we got besides the movies after the prequels was the expanded universe in the Clone Wars television series on Cartoon Network. Now we're getting shows and content and all sorts of that kind of stuff tenfold to back in the day. So at least you're able to bring up the point that we didn't get news on the content, but we're getting content that you can talk about. So just be thankful about that.
Very well said, Aiden. And Choco, I see you join in. How's it going?
Hello there.
How's it going, Chaco? What are your thoughts on Disney Plus Day?
Much ado about nothing. No, I was partially happy because I had to work all day. Meaning, if it was a big stream, I wouldn't be caught up. But I kind of wonder quite a few things. Right, last year was a much bigger event, but that's because it was the shareholders meeting. Right, like you could travel there in person and watch the presentations and stuff like that. A lot of restrictions surrounding COVID and all this stuff, and since it wasn't going to be a big production like that, I can see why they went a different route with it. Got lots of cool Marvel stuff, but again, I think one of you guys said it, and I apologize because I'm in a room talking, and I'm also hearing you guys at the same time.
That's what happened.
So-
yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I may be messed up on who was saying what, but
No, you're good. You're good.
It was
Um,
mostly titles and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like last year reminded me of the Marvel panel back in 2010, 2012, something like that, when they were like, this is our next phase. Release all the titles. Some of those changed, some of them fall off, some of them turn into TV shows, whatever. And they never did that again because we already had them. I feel like we got this something similar with Star Wars.
So, Julia,
Yes.
Corky Kenobi, how is he going to be brought into the show? How would you like for him to come into the show?
Oh,
if
well,
he
I
were
was
to?
mentioning earlier my Force vision. Like, I truly think that's a very effective way to cover a lot of Obi-Wan's life. is to have him face certain aspects of his life in the vision, the way that, like I talked about, Yoda has to see Order 66. He has to see like all the people who survived. If he has to face Darth Bane, like I think replicating that would be very effective, because you can have these little kind of trippy montages that cover things without having to like, oops, sorry, I'm blurry there, without having to like spend a lot of time in the show actually like building it towards the action. It could be more about his character development. So, oh, my dog's about to bark.
You're good.
Buster,
I know that
He
feeling.
barked. Nice.
he's
or she.
growling. He's upset. Someone closed a door somewhere else in the building, and
He
God
just knows
forbid.
it.
But truly, like I say this to people. You know, a lot of people follow me for the Kirky Kenobi content, and that's great. And I just try to tell people that like my actual expectations of that ever being referenced are really low. And I try to remind people of that, because the last thing I want to do is what happened today, is sort of lead people down a path of expecting something, right? So if it were me, I would say have one of his sort of trials he has to face be what would have happened if he left the Order and went with Satine, and he sees his life, what it could have been. And my sort of version of it would be, he sees this child, this son, and he's thinking, wow, this could have been something that I had. And then they sort of relay to the audience, perhaps this is actually someone who exists in this version, not an alternate version where you did leave. I think that would be really cool to sort of have him face a version of his life where he went to Mandalore, he stayed with Satine on Mandalore. He's like, wow, I could have had this family. And it's like, JK, you have this son does actually exist.
That didn't happen.
I think that would be really powerful, especially if we get a sense of like this theme that he has failed as a parent, basically, because I'm sure he feels that way with Anakin. And I think thematically that could really tie in. So if it were me, it's a tiny little thing and part of like a vision where he's sort of looking back on all of his choices in his life. And one of those choices is whether or not to sort of stay with Satine on Mandalore. What would it have been like if he did? Maybe he would have had a family. And then that's where we see Corky, and we know what he doesn't know, which is that Corky is real. And I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it, because I think that's a way to then acknowledge it, but not have it be part of the action of the show, right?
Gotcha.
So,
Chaco, what do you think of the concept art? What really intrigued you?
I mean, seeing the Inquisitor, I mean, really intrigued me most of all. Just Inquisitors are really cool. I'd love to get more backstory, and you know, we got to get Sung Kang as the fifth brother. He revealed that he's going to be using a lightsaber, so yeah, it's got to be him. Not in the picture, because that was
No, yeah, it looked more like
looked a little
Trilla.
different.
It looked more like Trilla, to be honest, but obviously that doesn't match up with canon-wise.
It did look a lot more like a feminine presenting person. However, that's the concept art. It doesn't mean that that's the person that they went with.
Yep, that's true.
The original villain for the Phantom Menace ended up being Mother Talzin.
Yeah.
So,
Right. That's right. Honestly, so I'm thinking differently, Julia. I think he's gonna. I like your concept of him going through the trials through the Force. I think we're actually going to see Vader and Kenobi fight physically as well. I think that is bound to happen. Just from the concept art of what we're getting, I think that's going to happen. I don't think the interesting thing that popped in my head was like, oh, wait, hold on. So I was looking at the concept art and I was like, is he going to go to Mustafar and go to Vader's castle? Like that just doesn't seem, that's like a suicide mission that doesn't really make sense to me. But what if they did that?
Obi-Wan's going to go back there and be kind of like Thor in Endgame. He was like, all right, now I got to go for the head.
Yeah.
Not for the legs.
I'm just like, I just can't see that. But I do think we're going to get a scene with Hayden. They don't bring Hayden back unless he's taken off the mask. And I think you can take that to the bank. Whether it's in a Force vision, or he actually does it in physical form, like face to face. I think he takes the mask off, or somehow we see his face. That's you can take that to the bank.
I agree. I think that they will fight physically, and I know people were. I made a video about this on my YouTube channel today, but people are up in arms like, "Oh, you said," but they made it sound like they wouldn't fight it. No, they never said that. You assumed that the line is, when last we met, I was but the learner, and in Revenge of the Sith, he was not a learner. Anakin was not a learner, right? So that's already been retconned.
Yeah.
He was a Jedi Knight. They were on equal footing. Hopefully what we get is this is Vader in his early stages when he's begun his true training in the Sith arts, and he's doing his training to become that, and he's still a learner of the Sith.
Yeah.
And so when they actually have that confrontation, then that's what makes more sense. And of course, and also there's a line where Vader says to Obi-Wan, "You shouldn't have come back."
Yeah, you should not come back.
What does that mean?
I feel like there's so much with this show. When they announced this show happening and people were adamant that Obi-Wan wasn't leaving Tatooine, I was like, he's leaving Tatooine because especially the quote that I always go to is episode 6. Luke says, you can come back, just let go of your anger. And Vader says verbatim, Obi-Wan once thought as you do. And that does not make sense after Revenge of the Sith. It just doesn't. Because at that moment, Obi-Wan looks at Anakin, thinks he's gone. There's no way that his friend or his brother, as he says, is alive. There's no way. And there's got to be another, because there's got to be another confrontation there.
Yeah.
But what I think, if they do fight, I think that Vader will best Obi-Wan, but he won't kill him. Because when they fight in A New Hope, Vader's like, "Your power's a weak, old man." But maybe he's just talking about the one time they fought beforehand, which maybe we'll see in the show. But at this point, we have no idea what the fight's going to look like if they do.
I think they'll be evenly matched. Personally,
I think so too.
And something else is going.
Ewan looks buff as hell he looks like he's really ready to throw down.
He's been drinking that blue milk, man. He's been taking that blue milk. Aiden, what are your thoughts?
Ronto wraps.
Yeah, I mean, to the point where people assumed that the whole series would just take place on Tatooine. There's only so much there, right? Like, how many yelling matches are we gonna get with Uncle Owen? And oh, Luke's going to Tashi Station and all, this kind of stuff. I think, it's just, I don't think it's a good idea to just isolate this series on just one planet. It's very much limiting what you can do with the series. And right, I mean, even in the concept art, it's different planets. It's not just Tatooine. We're definitely going to be different planets. And in order for a confrontation to happen, Obi-Wan has to leave Tatooine. Because up until A New Hope, Vader hasn't been back to Tatooine since he was, in episode 2, right? He hasn't been back there. He doesn't even, I don't think he even goes down to the surface during episode 4. He just stays on the Star Destroyer. So
the only time he goes to Tatooine as Vader is in between 5 and 6. So
yeah, in the comics or something
he
like
doesn't.
that.
The whole philosophy of the reason why they picked Tatooine is because Darth Vader's not going to go to Tatooine.
Exactly.
There's too much trauma. It reminds him too much of things, and I think that's a main reason why he's getting off planet.
I was assumed that the reason he put him on Tatooine is because he thought Anakin was dead.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I want to mention about concept art is also the idea that we're going to see Hayden as Vader with the mask off, which is, I think, fair. The show isn't just going to be from Obi-Wan's point of view. We're likely going to have scenes and characters who are at the Inquisitorius. It looks like sort of their headquarters, right? We're going to have characters there. We're probably going to have a sort of running storyline when it comes to the Imperial military, potentially with Vader, right? So a lot of that concept art, like he could spend a lot of time on Tatooine, and this concept art could still be accurate. That being said, yes, obviously he's leaving. My question is, who's babysitting? Who's gonna make sure that like Luke's good to go? while Obi-Wan leaves? That's my question. Who does he call?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
I'm sorry, that was a reflex.
No, yeah, it's kind of an impulse.
Spoiler alert: Owen Lars is a Jedi Knight.
Well, he was his brother in Legends, right? So, or he was his brother. He had a brother named Owen in Legends. At one point, that was Owen. So who knows?
Was that from the Jackson Miller novel?
No. So the Owen thing was from from I can't remember what script. Chaco probably knows. And then also in the Jedi Apprentice books, Obi-Wan has a vision, and he remembers he has a brother named Owen, which is kind of like a callback to that script.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean,
And the cool thing that go ahead, Aiden. How are you?
In terms of a babysitter, just to make a little joke, they could just throw in a droid intelligence on a T-16, Luke's T-16, and just have it fly him around for a little bit, and just Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru won't have to worry about Luke for the entire week or something like
They
that.
just go out and look at Beggar's Canyon. They just see a
They
ship
put him
going
in
in
a
circles. What is he doing out there?
Tesla, and then they send that car just around the city, is what you're suggesting. Which
Yeah,
is very
pretty much.
funny.
They could get Plug Eye, the one-eyed sand person warrior, to watch him from.
Yeah.
Who is canon? I always have to bring that up.
Julia and Aiden, thank you for coming on. Go ahead and plug your guys' stuff real quick. Where can we find you?
Okay, I guess I'll go first. Hello, everyone. My name is Aiden Talk Star Wars Topics right here. You can find me on TikTok and YouTube. And on TikTok, I like talking about Star Wars lore. I like making skits, and I just like being a part of the greater Star Wars community. So if you would like to, you can go ahead and give me a follow. And I just love talking about Star Wars.
Awesome.
We'll see you later, Aiden.
I'm Julia Christine 77 on TikTok. I have not been able to track down the person who just has the Julia Christine handle. If you
Gotta get her.
are here, if you're listening, please I want it. Give it to me. But Julia Christine 77 on TikTok. Also co-host of Star Wars English Class podcast with Fern at Always Fern on TikTok. So I'm on the TikTok and my name, and then Star Wars English Class is cast wherever pods are cast. So that's where you can find me.
And you will be on with Beth, in a few weeks.
Yes, to talk about
Mandalore.
Oh, the
Mandalore arc.
Ooh,
yep, on Black Friday. We will be streaming on Friday that week because obviously
I just call it Friday.
Oh, come on, Chaco. Why you? Come on. Well, now we've been canceled for
Chaco, did you have to hit us with
that? Gareth would say, so that's great. Thanks, Chaco. But thanks again, Julia.
Yes, thanks for having me. This was fun.
We'll
have a good one,
talk
everybody.
To you later.
Bye.
We're bringing in Bale and Brooke. Brooke and Bale are on.
Hi.
How's it going?
Mid-shoe paint, it looks.
I'm working on my BD1.
Oh, BD1.
And my
that is.
Do you have a 3D printer that you use, Brooke, for that?
No, this I bought from Etsy from someone that makes 3D printed stuff.
Okay.
But, yeah, we're painting it.
That's awesome.
So what were your guys' reaction to Disney Plus Day? And go ahead, give us your thoughts.
Well, I'll be honest, I was really not expecting much. They didn't really, I mean, looking at release schedules or suspected release schedules, the only thing really that we're supposedly getting in 2022 would really be Andor and Kenobi, I believe. And obviously Book of Boba carrying over, and I think Bad Batch as well. But Bad Batch yet again has only really just been announced since August, so I think it's kind of unfair to expect anything. And a Kenobi trailer or anything more than what we got as a sizzle reel, I think, was way too much to expect. But I was pretty content with what we got. I was a little bit disappointed we didn't get more, but I kind of understandable of what we didn't get.
Yeah. What about you, Brooke?
I kind of feel the same way. I wasn't expecting a lot, especially with how fast they took down that leaked sizzle reel from yesterday. I was like, oh, that's what we're getting tomorrow. After that, I was like, we're not getting a trailer. We're not getting anything else. I also think it's just too far away. we also just got the Boba Fett trailer, and I just was like, Lucasfilm is not Marvel. They're not Marvel Studios. They are going to do things differently. I think Lucasfilm keeps their projects closer to the heart.
That's why Marvel has all them leaks. And
I was going to say, compared to Marvel.
Literally just search Far From Home on Twitter. You've got half the movie plot down there, from what I've heard.
I just feel like it's hard to compare the two because the universes are so different. Because like the MCU is obviously everything is all connected, but it's all interconnected within the same like time frame. Whereas Star Wars kind of plucks out of different parts of the same timeline, but the projects are up until now at least separate for the most part. Like don't connect as much to each other. At least story-wise. So I wasn't expecting much. I mean, I was hoping for something about Andor, at least.
A lot of
or
people
something
were,
about Bad Batch Season 2, because those are the two things we know that we're getting next year other than Kenobi. And we haven't... Andor has been filming for like 8 years, it seems like, and we haven't gotten anything about it. And so it's just kind of a little disappointing not even to get an official confirmation of like when it will be released. But you never know. They might still be working that schedule out for next year. So I also think a lot of it has to do with how close Celebration is. If I'm thinking about it in like a marketing kind of standpoint.
Strategically.
Yeah. All of the other celebrations that Lucasfilm has done under Disney has featured a movie, like a big movie trailer. And this is the first time that we don't have that. So what are they going to put in its place? My logical conclusion is something about Kenobi, because that's the most anticipated thing. Unless there's some other amazing, huge project that they're releasing that they haven't told anyone about. Not that the other stuff isn't exciting, but I'm just like trying to think about like general audiences are going to be more excited about Kenobi over most other things. So I hope we don't have to wait that long to get it. We might get it in the spring, but I don't know.
And Brooke, obviously, I know you are one of my my fellow Boba Fett stans. What were your thoughts on Under the Helmet?
Oh yes, Boba Fett. You say this came in the mail today? Christmas ornament. It's really fucking cool though. Anyway, I really liked the Under the Helmet. I thought it was awesome. I have that up on my shelf too. I love this. I thought it was really cool. I'm like obsessed. I love learning about like the history of Star Wars as far as like behind the scenes stuff. I love it, especially all of the stuff from the originals. It's just so fascinating to me. So I feel like we got a lot of really cool info, even if some of it wasn't new, just like having all of it in one place. And I made a TikTok about this that I posted and then it got like 3 views. So I'm going to post it again tomorrow probably. But they were talking about adding spurs to Boba Fett's boots.
Yeah.
And then they showed the clip of him in Empire and you can hear the spurs. And then later on in the show, when they were talking about him coming back in The Mandalorian, they showed the clip of him walking up to Fennec. And it was the same soundbite of the spurs of him walking up with like a similar, it might even be the same Boba Fett music. And I was like, why was this ever even a question? Who it was? Because I know a lot of people were going back and forth. It can't be Boba Fett. No, it is, you know? So that was like my highlight of that. I thought was really cool.
So here's another question for everybody. So since we didn't get anybody here, that we didn't get anything except for that sizzle reel today, when do we think the most logical place or time? Obviously May the 4th and Celebration are probably guarantees, but are we going to get anything in between then?
I think probably random drops. Considering the Book of Boba Fett trailer a week before a Disney Plus day, they just dropped it on Monday. Well, I was expecting them to wait till this Friday to drop it, and they didn't. I think there's just going to be random announcements. I mean, last January we got the announcements that Ubisoft were doing. Oh no, it's not Disney Plus related necessarily, but we just got a random drop that Ubisoft are making an open world Star Wars game. I think really we can just get this anytime. I expect like big stuff. They may say that we get that over Celebration and May 4th, but I don't really expect any like set time, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Chaco?
I think it's funny that we were all like, okay, they have to announce all this stuff on this day because last year they did. And you're like, but that was the first time ever. Like, that's like one is not a sufficient sample size to form a pattern. But no, I would say definitely Celebration. Definitely Celebration. Between them, there may be little nuggets here and there. I know we're going to get some like a toned down San Diego Comic-Con is happening shortly, and that's usually a place where large announcements happen. That's Thanksgiving weekend. But I don't know that a whole lot is needed. But that may, I don't know, that may just be me. I may be a
Interesting.
weirdo.
No, that's an interesting take. Brooke, what do you think? I mean,
I kind of
think
feel the
so, doesn't it?
same. I feel the same way. I think that if you look at how they've treated all of their other projects thus far this year, we didn't get really anything about Visions until Bad Batch was over, basically, or just about over, and that was only like maybe a month and a half out from Visions.
Yeah, finished August.
Yeah, and I think that people have been waiting for something about Boba Fett for so long that they're gonna kind of ride it out with this, with the hype of that, and I feel like give it its like, time to shine, just like it did with The Mandalorian. I also think that Lucasfilm, The Mandalorian is like what made Disney Plus, and they marketed that. They marketed that like super heavy in the beginning because it was a new streaming service and a brand new live action Star Wars show that we've never had before. Obviously, it was super successful, but it was also like super. All the characters in The Mandalorian, for the most part, were new characters, so they had to sell it. Whereas I feel like you don't have to sell Star Wars fans on Star Wars content necessarily. It's like we're gonna consume it anyway.
yeah.
Marvel has it's hard to compare. They have their own, way of doing things, so I don't think it's fair to really compare those two. But yeah, I think we're going to be waiting for a while. Definitely Celebration. They're going to be doing a lot surrounding that. I think they pushed it up for a reason too, because it was supposed to be in August and they pushed it up to May, which seems kind of weird while they're like still in the middle of a pandemic. You know what I mean? So I feel like it was strategically done. Unless it was just logistic stuff with like the venue or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of my feel.
I find it so funny that back when Disney Plus first released and Mandalorian came out, not everyone, but a lot of people were saying that, okay, I'm only gonna watch The Mandalorian and I'm canceling my subscription. I don't care about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Or they only wanted to see The Mandalorian. And I was like, this service has to get a lot more stuff in here. And it eventually did, and now Disney Plus is huge.
Yeah, in a short amount of time.
And the actual earnings on it were crazy, I think. But of course we do we'll hit a point of peak like saturation with specific fan groups, If you're into Star Wars stuff, you have it already,
Yeah.
So as far as the Star Wars content, I think that's going to be a little bit more difficult to grow unless they continue making new stuff and reaching new audiences. We'll have to see.
And also, I saw something on Twitter today too, from Disney itself, saying that from today until Sunday, if you don't have Disney Plus, you're able to pay for 1 month $1.99 for a month if you buy it from now till Sunday. So if you don't have it, go ahead and get it.
Yeah, this is a perfect time to get it, to be honest. But Chaco, I appreciate you coming in. It's always a pleasure to have you on. You'll be on for Onbara. The other two will be on. Brooke's going to be on for the Citadel? I think there's a couple. There's one that
I think it's the Citadel and the Gathering. I think I
yes,
am on,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
way later.
Katoonie.
And Bale's gonna be on one as well, a couple of them. But I
think I
always
was-
love getting new people on here, and especially getting used to the vibe and whatnot. So Chaco, thank you for coming. I know we didn't get a whole lot of news, but I appreciate you popping and giving your knowledge and voice and stuff like that. So
Yeah, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Chaco.
Yeah, what-
absolutely. Yeah, and anyone who wants to talk more Star Wars, tomorrow is Dyad and the Force, and it is the 1-year anniversary of Dyad and the Force.
Awesome.
Episode 52. So join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Also, we'll probably be able to drop some more nuggets on this awesome Star Wars role-playing event extravaganza that's going on
Yes.
tomorrow.
Ran by my good friend Malik Frierson.
Yes, and Brooke is joining us on this adventure as well. So, man, it's going to be super fun. Also, check out High Ground Podcast, and I love all you.
well,
I love you too, man. Thank you so much for hopping on here.
Love you, man.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you later. So there were 4. So what are your guys' takes on the concept art that we got? I know I've been asking everybody that's popped in what their thoughts were. Brooke, Bale.
I think it gives along a lot more. I think people are so disappointed that we didn't get a trailer, and there's a lot more to unpack there. That one's really touching because people are just like, we didn't get a trailer, and like the Vader having a duel with him, I think is pretty huge in terms of a reveal. And then we're gonna have shots of Vader in his castle. That's something we've not really got since Rogue One. Rogue One didn't really focus on that much. Like the concept art from it, I think one of them even looked like there was the Trilla looked like she was there in one of them. I think.
Yeah,
Correct
there's
me if I'm
been
wrong.
talk in the chat about Trilla.
Yeah.
but I
It
don't
looked
know
like
that-
Trilla's Inquisitorius armor, so like we could get her in it now. Like it just seems to be getting better each time new news is there. So I think the concept art is probably a lot bigger than we give it credit for.
Brooke.
I would say I agree and disagree at the same time. I think it tells us a lot about what the plot is going to be and what we can expect more so, because I think knowing that Obi-Wan dropped Luke off on Tatooine, and then the last time we saw him in his lifetime was on Tatooine, it's like, okay, well, there were 20 years in between. What has happened? Has he just been, old hermit Obi-Wan on Tatooine this entire time? So for me, it was like kind of hard to conceptualize what the show was going to be about based on just that information. I mean, I would probably watch 6 hours of Ewan McGregor just like walking through the desert, but I realized that there needs to be more to it than that.
I would walk 500 miles.
But,
That's
yeah.
what's playing.
But at the same time, it's also just concept art. And I feel like while we get a broad idea of what the show will be, I don't think that we can nitpick apart everything that's in it, because it is just concept art. Like seeing the Inquisitor that looks like Trilla. She's no longer around at this point, so I assume that they just used kind of that model just to put in there for the
Yeah, because
concept
Fallen Order
art.
takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, so I feel like he does cook. You know what? If you've seen Eternals, I would like him to be like Gilgamesh, who just like bakes pies for a living.
Yes.
And
My sweat beer.
Yes, sweat beer. But yeah, I think I think that's like where fans get disappointed, is because they spend kind of like the Mephisto phenomenon. It's like you spend much time nitpicking every single thing that you see. And it's like, it's not always going to turn out the way that you think it is. And the show is 10 years after Order 66.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So
that's
9 BBY. 9 BBY.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, 9 BBY.
Or 10 BBY.
That'll
9
probably
BBY.
be
Around
years
that
ago.
time, yeah. So like midway point between Order 66 and what we see in A New Hope.
Yep.
So I think it'll be cool how they like bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Like because we've seen Obi-Wan in Rebels for a time, and that was 4 or 3 ABY or BBY or something like that. So I think that it'll be good overall. I'm glad that we got something out of it, even if it was just the same. And that's what the other thing is, that the sizzle reel that we got is this. It's recycled from what they showed the investors last year that we didn't see. That was on Investor Day, and that was before filming. They didn't start filming until the springtime. So
Yeah,
a
so
lot
a
of
lot-
that
a lot
concept
could have
art, a lot of
changed.
that stuff could have changed since.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not putting a lot of stock into like every detail of the concept art. This is also a project that they've literally been talking about for
Since Disney acquired.
Since Disney acquired. So it's probably gone through a lot of iterations. So just thinking about all of that, I'm like, it's really cool that we have now more information about like kind of what the show, what the vibe is going to be like. But I'm not taking too much stock in like all the little details right now.
Yeah. I think the one concept art screen that actually, now I remember it, took my interest a bit more now I think about it, is the one of it looked like Hoth snowspeeders, I think.
Yep, they were the snow
And-
the snow speeders, yeah.
But the thing is, they might not be. And I remember because I think there's a variation that looks the same. It's actually a sand speeder. Because I think it was some toy that was made ages and ages and ages ago, and it was just like a kind of sand colored one. And now I think about it, that could be some Tatooine deployment of them, potentially, because I don't know when this sand speeder thing was a thing, because I do seem to remember that they had that kind of speeder. So it could be that is on Tatooine, because I can't really see them going to Hoth anytime soon, to be honest.
So here's a take. Bail is actually. So have either of you has anybody here read the Princess of Alderaan book?
Not yet. I have it on my shelf though.
Funny thing is, I actually read that
Okay,
book for a school project.
Okay, so I think a certain sequel planet is where the Rebel Alliance is during this time period, because in that book, that planet is mentioned.
Dantooine.
No. Sequel.
Sequel. Right? Yeah. Sorry.
So you can probably guess what.
Oh.
So that might be where I think that might be where the Rebel Alliance is at this point, because it is mentioned in that book.
Well, it's not okay. No, keep going.
So, I mean, if you don't want me to spoil, if you want me to spoil it all, go ahead and talk about it. But I don't want to spoil it if you're gonna.
I was just gonna say, at this point too, like the Rebel Alliance isn't an alliance. It's just like little cells of groups.
Yeah, we
at this
don't
point,
know Rebels.
This is true.
This is still 4 or 5 years before Rebels, and even at the time that Rebels starts, it's not. There's no big conglomerate of an alliance. So that's why I'm like, we're gonna see. I think, if anything, we'll see like more of a foundation being laid. I think that's what they're hinting at doing in the Bad Batch with kind of Rex and like Trace and Rafa that we saw them. And then Andor happens, I think, a little later on in the timeline as far as this whole time period. So I don't think that'll like factor in too much to this, but I think it would be cool if, in addition to seeing where Kenobi's at and where Vader is, I would also love to see what like
Bail
where
and
the
Mon Mothma
rebellion
are going.
is at this point. I think it's almost a guarantee that we'll see Bail at some point. I know we'll see him in Andor. I would like to see him. I would love to, because I feel like he knows that Obi-Wan's alive. So I feel like I would love
I think he knows he's on.
And he knows he's on Tatooine, I'm pretty sure too. So I would love to see them kind of like make some sort of connection, or like they keep in touch with each other in some way.
Yeah, Bail Organa is the connective tissue between the Jedi and the Rebellion.
Right. So I think that would be kind of cool, and I would love for them to circle back to like Padme and her involvement in laying the groundwork for the rebellion, because they kind of got rid of that
In Revenge of the
in
Sith.
Yeah, it
in
would
Revenge of
be-
the Sith.
It'd be good to see a link back to that kind of alliance, and I think the only way that Obi-Wan could really get involved with, if we're going by that concept art, the only way he could really get involved with a rebel cell without news spreading is if that was orchestrated under Bail Organa, because he's the only one that kind of knows that this should be a secret and that about his kind of involvement in things. So I think that kind of, hopefully that means we'll see Bail in this, but obviously concept art could have come up by now. Unfortunately not, no. I wish I was.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
do you think Jimmy Smits will play that role again? Or...
Yes, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. He's old enough. I mean, he fits the age range of what Bail would be.
I mean,
at
he
this
was in
time.
Rogue One, so
You'll probably have
Yes.
to like use some Just for Men and
color
that hair.
Here's the other thing. The other thing that I think could be a factor is that oh, I lost my train of thought. Hold on, I'll get it back real quick. Hold on. So oh man, I lost it. It's gone.
Anyway,
It's gone forever.
So
Never mind.
like as I was talking about with Luke earlier about the concept art, I was telling him how much when Obi-Wan was writing the EOP, how much it was similar to when Jamie Costa was in that fan-made film of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know if you guys have seen that. But and then when
Yes.
James Arnold Taylor was an Imperial officer, it looked very similar to what Jamie Costa looked like in that fan-made film.
There was, I think, I don't know exactly what it was. It could have been based off that fan-made film. There was a figure or something like it's like a mythos of.
I was gonna say it looks a lot like the Mythos
Yes.
figure, and the Obi-Wan comics that I don't know if they are canon still or not. The ones I don't know how long ago they came out, but it's like Obi-Wan, but it doesn't look like Ewan McGregor or Alec Guinness really, but it's like an Obi-Wan
In the
story.
middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
it looks
now
very
I
similar.
think back to the mythos, it could be possible, and I hope actually this is a tie-in I've been wanting to see for a while, and I've speculated about it for a while. If he brought Qui-Gon's lightsaber back with it, because if so, there's a heavy possibility that that's now the crystal that resides in Luke's, and that would be a really cool time. I'm not saying. I mean, I don't know if there's any canon material in relation to his crystal, but I think that'd be like a cool tie-in that they could do through Kenobi. Obviously, it's one of the very, very minor details of the series, but it's just like an extra little nugget of information that they could chuck in there.
No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Guys, I'm gonna take you guys out, and we're gonna bring in 2 more. Guys, where can we follow you? And thank you for coming on. I appreciate it for the first community stream. I really appreciate it. Where can we find you guys?
Oh, like Brooke go first.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me on. It was fun. You can find me at B Dazzler on TikTok and Twitch, but with 2 underscores because apparently on every other platform except for TikTok, B_Dazzler has been taken. Yeah, and I also have a cool Etsy shop if you want to get some cool nerdy stuff. Perfect for holiday gifts and things. You can check it out at Far Far Away Factory. Yeah, I think that's all the places you can find my stuff.
Please go support her. She's got some cool stuff, and I've got stuff for Christmas and birthdays that are going to be arranged, and it's gonna be awesome. So go check her out. Bale, where can we find you?
You can find me on TikTok, just Grandmaster Vale. I post. Oh, little voice crack for you there. I post, or at least try to post fairly regularly, just about any up-to-date Star Wars news, or occasionally a really bad joke that I also will post, regardless. And yeah, TikTok really.
All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, thanks.
2 more. We got Kylie and Beth.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You
So let
guys-
me introduce you to Kylie. This is actually my girlfriend, and
Riley,
she's here to
it's
give
nice
us.
to put a face with a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
And then Beth, hello, welcome in.
Oh, you're mute. There we go.
Hello. Yes.
How's it going, Beth?
Oh, she's muted again.
There we go. Sorry.
You're good.
It's good. How are you guys?
Good,
Oh,
very
we're doing
good.
great,
What
we're
were
doing
your
great.
what were your thoughts on Disney Plus Day?
Oh my goodness. It was. Wait. Sorry. Hang on. I'm getting a lot of feedback on my AirPods. I'll be 1 second. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
Kylie, you go.
So there's a lot of nostalgia for sure, looking through everything they're releasing. And that's really exciting. And really enjoying all of that, looking through everything they've posted. I feel like obviously there's like new stuff that maybe like our generation or older isn't as into. Like obviously they created the whole High School Musical, the series, but I feel like that's definitely still for a younger audience. It's not something like that we watch, even though we watch the original High School Musicals and like new stuff like that. But there's a ton of nostalgic moments going on, which is great. Like looking at the Proud Family coming back, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's an underrated show. Underrated show.
I
That
used to watch
is
the Proud Family all the time back when Kim Possible was relevant.
so crazy and exciting. I'm really looking forward to that for sure. Also
Yeah,
saw
like-
some new like Ice Age, and all that. I feel like for me, Ice Age, when watching the trailer, personally, obviously when you like watch it for real, it may be different, but right now it looks a lot like that movie they came out with. I forget which one it was. I don't think it was Continental Drift. It might have been.
I think it was.
Okay. To me, that one looks exactly the same right now. The trailer they posted. And I couldn't tell from what they posted. It's kind of hard to decide if that's going to be a movie or a series. Because for most of them, they said series if it's going to be a series. This one, I didn't see it when they, at least on the Twitter post where they posted the trailer. But
Yeah, and then if you look at some of the Pixar stuff that they've been adding, they added a Ciao Alberto special for Luca. They added a plus anniversary, I think it's called, with The Simpsons, and they added like a bunch of different Walt Disney animation characters with the Seven Dwarfs. They added, I forgot what's the detective's name from Stitch? Bubbles?
I think so.
yeah,
The social
the
worker.
big guy.
Yeah,
the social worker is
his name is
Detective
Bubbles, right? Yeah, so they had like an anniversary that they released with The Simpsons, and they had like BB-8 going around and messing up stuff, and they added that, and they added what was it called, Baymax, when Forward Into the Black was here. They added a Baymax.
Yeah.
Is this Baymax supposed to be a series or a movie?
Baymax is going to be a series.
Okay.
That's like Big Hero 6. Obviously, that's going to be a series, but kind of similar to the Olaf series they're coming out with, where it's just focusing on that one character.
Yeah, the Olaf short series came out, I think, earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so.
And I remember
excited
talking to you
watch that.
about that, and I know you are a big Frozen fan, so we have to watch that really soon.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that, especially because I don't know how many of you have watched Frozen 2, but in Frozen 2, he basically, to all the characters in the middle of the movie, explained the whole movie of Frozen 1 in his own special way. And this whole series is going to be him explaining all other Disney movies the exact same way. And it's hilarious. You can probably like just look up a clip on YouTube of him from Frozen 2. It's like, I mean, Olaf, greatest character. Second greatest. Stitch is the first, I think.
And then
for
Cars.
Disney characters.
Cars is having their own TV series now. Like I was like, this is cool. Like I didn't expect Cars to have a TV. Yeah, with Larry the Cable Guy and Owen Wilson coming back. I'm like, this is
Larry
crazy.
the Cable Guy's from Nebraska, by the way. Just want to
Is
throw
he?
that in there.
I thought he was from.
Yeah,
I thought he was from
little small town in Nebraska called Aurora, Nebraska. So just want to throw that out there.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with Nebraska, Luke.
Not a lot of
But
people are. It's okay.
yeah, unlike Star Wars, Pixar and Marvel got a lot of
Yes, they
releases
did.
today. They
Beth,
got a
what did
lot
you?
of new stuff.
Yeah, what
And
did you think of the whole slate, Star Wars included? Because I know you made some content. Was it today or yesterday about the images that we got for Kenobi?
It was actually last night. And so I just had too much time to think about it, basically.
Yeah.
But I in all honesty, I didn't expect anything else today. So that like my expectations weren't super high. It was like, if something happens, that'd be great. If not, it's totally fine. I just feel like there's so much to mine in what we have.
Yeah.
That's always my favorite thing to do, is just like pick everything apart. So not in a bad way, but like dissect it, I guess.
Mhm.
That's a better
No,
word.
because I think every
exactly
single
what we were
fan that
doing.
was watching or hearing all of the Disney Plus notifications that were happening today, they were looking so forward to Star Wars stuff. But the only thing we really got was some concept art and the Book of Boba, or not the Book of Boba Fett, just the Boba Fett special that came out. Which, I mean, it was cool, but I think a lot of people were disappointed. But at the same time, they were relieved because it didn't give too much away.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would agree.
Yeah, I know, Luke. You were feeling the same way. You're like, I wanted something, but also I didn't want something.
I wanted something so badly just because I need to see. I just need to see. Oh, I need to see Ewan in the Jedi robes, and I need to see Hayden in the Vader stuff to make it a reality. Because right now it still doesn't seem like a real thing that's happening. It's been talked about for 13 years. It was originally a movie that was going to be a 2.5 hour movie. Then now it's a TV show, and like it still doesn't feel real to me. Like it's like the equivalent to the Star Wars stuff. Like Kylie, I love the fact that you get so passionate about Pixar and everything, because that's just not my thing. But I love it. I love that you
Oh,
are so
thank
excited
you.
about that. And like I just it's like we didn't get a whole lot, but I'm glad that other people got what they wanted. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I mean, Star Wars, we have our own day, for gosh sakes. You know what I mean? Like people should be able to have their own things as well. So
Yeah,
that was nice.
so definitely Star Wars wise, you guys are the experts, obviously. I can't say I'm clueless though. It's hard to be clueless when you're dating the CharCharJay. You know, I can't go a day without hearing something about Star Wars, you
3
know.
interesting facts. Hey Kylie, did you know 3 interesting facts about Mace Windu?
Yeah.
Babe, what do you think? What do you think about this idea? I'm gonna bounce this
Yeah.
off you.
No, I mean,
Oh my God.
I mean, it's just, how do you avoid it? You know, I knew what I was getting into, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just got to
I
deal
know.
with it.
I do it. I have to shut him up sometimes, but I mean, he does. I feel like most people have grown up at least watching one, if not more, Star Wars movies. So of course, growing up, like I've seen the Star Wars movies, you know, and gone to. It was like a family tradition when all the newer ones came out. Like when we would have our Christmas with me and my cousins, we would all go to the Star Wars premiere, you know. And especially for the last trilogy, that was like a big thing for us. So I do have a little bit of Star Wars background for that reason, but I never even thought about like the series and stuff, like the clones and all of the Mandalorian. I never would have watched, you know, but I have my little Grogu in the corner now, you know. And I mean, I have to admit it, you guys, like this. Okay, Boba.
This is Chewie's chew toys. So
Oh, and my dog, I have an English bulldog. She has a Chewbacca costume. So
I have a Cocker Spaniel named Chewbacca, and
Oh.
he's got the lanyard and everything. So
I love that.
And then he
And-
here
yeah,
we
Charlie's
go. The
got
Build-A-Bear.
his
I got my own
Build-A-Boba, which
Build-A-Boba.
I bought him.
And it's got an EE3 that every time you press it, it makes a little. Can you hear that?
That's so rad. Oh my god.
I got him that,
she
and
just-
I got him.
She was
Get
at the
the
mall
other
and she
one.
was like, you know what? Let's just go to Build-A-Bear. And she got me this.
Get, no,
Like, I
get
didn't
the
ask
other
for it.
one.
We love that. We do
Yeah,
love
no,
that.
the original is his Darth Chuck, which is his Darth Vader.
Yeah, she gave me a
Build-A-Bear.
Build-A-Bear Darth Vader.
Yeah,
and named it
that's
Darth
his-
Chuck.
it's Darth Chuck, and Build-A-Boba.
I just feel like you guys are setting relationship standard. Like the bar is just
Oh, yeah.
it's up here now. There's
No,
I mean,
yeah.
honestly.
You know, when I get mad at him, because I mean, sometimes I feel like it does get a little too much, you know. But when I get mad at him, I'm like, I'm so happy that you're passionate about this, but can I go 5 minutes, you know, without some Star Wars talk? Okay, I just need a little break. You know, I'm getting better. Okay, it's hard to date him for almost 1.5 years now and not get more and more used to it. You know, but
No, yeah,
it happens.
absolutely.
You will.
Absolutely.
You'll get used to it.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I loved Mandalorian. I probably wouldn't have watched it right when it came out if it wasn't for Charlie. You know, I probably would have watched it eventually, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, I loved Mandalorian. I learned more about like all the extended characters from the originals and everything. Like Boba Fett, didn't really think much of watching just the original trilogy as a kid, you know? And then if everyone knows Charlie's obsessed with Boba Fett, he's his favorite character, you know? So then it's like now that definitely set the foundation where obviously I'm going to be forced to watch Book of Boba Fett, you know, because of him.
Mhm.
But it's like now I'm actually excited about it, especially after Mandalorian and seeing him more, you know?
Yeah,
So
and
now,
I made her watch the Mandalorian seasons with me too because of how much they impacted the Star Wars community and Disney Plus.
So
like
time
all
out.
a
So
lot of
time out.
incoming fans came from Mandalorian.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the episode of How I Met Your Mother. If she doesn't like the original Star Wars, like you can't marry her. Is that kind of how this is? Like you force her to watch The Mandalorian. Like you have to like
No,
Boba Fett.
no,
Boba
because
Fett
she
I
has
was
to be your
actually
favorite
interested.
character, or
I
this isn't gonna work.
consented.
No, she
Yeah, okay,
actually
it wasn't
enjoyed the
complete
show.
force.
She volunteered to watch the first season with me and she enjoyed it. And I remember when season 2 first came out,
Yeah.
we got our popcorn ready, we had all of our stuff ready to go. Like she was really prepared to watch it with me and I enjoyed it.
Oh, look at that.
I'm a
And
good girlfriend.
Mandalorian is what brought in a lot of new fans. Not
Yeah,
even
and then-
just for Grogu, but the story just it really resonated with
I
people.
mean, that's how our relationship goes, though. Is I'm forced to watch Star Wars, and I force him to watch Frozen 100 times. So,
Which is not fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Beth, so let's talk Kenobi. Let's talk a little Kenobi.
Let's do it.
So are you on the train? Like Julia said earlier, she stated that most of Obi-Wan's interactions with Vader are going to be through visions. I'm on the opposite train.
I think opposite too. Because why have Hayden Christensen back himself if we're not going to actually see him in well, I mean, we're going to see flashbacks, of course, but I don't think it'll just be the main source of how the story's going to go. Like we'll see some, you know, Obi-Wan and Anakin on Mustafar footage, I believe, but I don't think flashbacks will be the main direction of how the story is going to be told.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's specific because in Deborah Chow's interview, she said like that's where this is where the story starts, but moving forward. So it sounds like it definitely is going to be, if there are flashbacks, they'll be minimal.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two kind of divergent thoughts about this.
Okay.
One is the fact that obviously we have in the Clone Wars season 6, like the whole like the arc with Yoda and how he has to fight Sidious, and I'm like, okay, that could potentially be a way.
Which is one of my
However,
favorite finales to the Clone Wars.
it's so good.
The Lost Ones episode, it was fantastic. That last stretch of season 6 was phenomenal.
So good. So good.
So here's my pitch. So Obi-Wan's obviously got to get off planet, right? And this is my pitch every single time this gets brought up. It comes on every single episode that we talk about. So obviously Obi-Wan, there's going to be a confrontation physically, and before they clash sabers, there's going to be this moment, or it's going to happen either two ways. It happens within a battle, or it's before the battle. Vader takes off the helmet, and you see Hayden Christensen's burnt face and everything, the flesh torn away, and he looks at Obi-Wan and says, "Look what you have done to me." And my eyes just get filled with water, and I'm getting goosebumps. Like, that's what I hope happens. And if they do something similar to that, I don't want them to go the route of like how Ahsoka took the thing off. I think it would be so much more powerful to have Hayden / Anakin take off the helmet and show Obi-Wan like the deeper. I just think that would be more deep and mean more to the character. Right.
Like we all thought Vader and Ahsoka's duel was emotional when the half of Vader's helmet was cut, and you have a mix between James Earl Jones and James Earl Jones and Matt Lancer. But now we'll actually have Hayden Christensen speaking to Ewan McGregor. I think that'll just amp the emotion 5 times more than what we got in Rebels. 100%. If that is the case, it would. Oh my God, Twitter would explode.
Beth, what are your thoughts on my pitch?
Okay, so I love it. I love anything angsty though, so I could be biased. But like the angstier the better. Like, please, Star Wars, mess me up emotionally. Let me feel something inside. Like I need to. So
I need a good cry.
It's so true though. And I do think obviously there is a reason why they brought Hayden back, and it's not just for flashbacks. Like, I think you are gonna have you're gonna at some point in some way you are gonna have to have like Hayden and Vader confronting Ewan 100% as Obi-Wan. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fascinating. And also the thing too, like, in order for, and granted, obviously we know Obi-Wan is a very powerful Jedi, but in order to have like the template, I guess, of if this were to be like any sort of vision, you would have to also see Vader like in some way in order to know like what he looks like, if that makes sense, which I'm sure he could like sense him in the Force or whatnot. But I do agree there's going to be a lot of emotion. There's going to be a weird reunion at some point.
The tension will be high for every Star Wars fan because everyone cares about Obi-Wan and Anakin. That's one of the most notable duos when you talk about Star Wars. You think about Luke and Han, or Han and Leia, or Chewie and Han. Like those are just the bare minimum. But when you think about Obi-Wan and Anakin, when you think about the original trilogy duos, they were just best friends. But Obi-Wan and Anakin, they were brothers. They were,
Kylie, here's the other question for somebody that's not as into it in depth as
not an
all
expert.
The rest of us. No, but you're I would say you're the casual fan, and that's not a bad thing.
I agree.
What is your take on the fandom, like from an outsider looking in? Because I'm sure you hear stories of like toxicity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want your take on that being from the outside looking in. Because I'm sure you look at the Star Wars fandom and you're just like, good God, what's wrong?
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, I have even heard Charlie say a couple of times, like, this fandom's toxic. I feel like it's well known but I feel like also it's really not that bad. I feel like when you get into any sort of fandom and look closely at it, or if you get really into it, there's gonna be that in everything. And especially like the people that I know who are really into Star Wars, I mostly just know through Charlie. And I mean, from all you guys that I've met and talked to, you're all great. I don't see that toxicity as much. But when I look on, like, if something comes up online or even on Charlie's comments on his TikTok posts and stuff, reading into that, I'm like, okay, guys, like, everyone has their opinions. Just relax a little bit, okay? No one's getting hurt here. It's all right. But then again, like, I don't know if you guys can see up here, I have my husband, Harry Styles.
Harry Styles.
And
oh God.
so I obviously I'm not on like Star Wars TikTok as much, but I'm on Harry Styles TikTok. And just to compare it, it's obviously much different, of course. But you get those people who are like, oh, I've been a fan for 11 years since the beginning of One Direction. Oh no, this song's better. Like, it's every time you get super deep into any fandom, I feel like you're gonna get those people. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that's not the first thing I think of when I think of Star Wars fans, you know?
Yeah, because the Star Wars fan base, if you look at it from a broader spectrum, in terms of the trilogies, we're seen as section off, like you belong here, you belong there, depending on what you like, instead of just all being put together and enjoying it as one. Because everyone's like that. There's always, people who love the prequels more than anything, the OT stands like myself, but I do appreciate the other trilogies. And then there's also the sequel fans that are probably the most secluded because of how much hate they receive.
It's ridiculous. And I really, because I've been thinking about this, because I've wanted to get somebody on that really isn't a hard just into it as much as the rest of us, because it is interesting to me. It's very much just like sports fandom.
Yeah, I agree.
They're very, very, very similar, and it can get toxic. It's just like anything else in a fandom.
I think so.
That are that love things so passionately that it gets muddled sometimes.
Yeah, and I really go ahead.
Okay, I have to say, at times I do see Charlie as being a toxic Star Wars fan, and I am guilty of triggering that because he
call
knows
him out. I want this
it
right now.
He would
I love
admit
this
it.
content.
Okay, so I go up and I like, Charlie, the original trilogy is worse than
what did you say?
Charlie, the original trilogy is worse than the prequels. Like, it's so romantic. Or his favorite, I think Padme and Anakin is a better relationship than Han and Leia. And there he goes. There he goes.
We're getting canceled. Yeah, Kylie has now canceled all of us.
No. Listen, I said I trigger it by saying these things. It doesn't necessarily mean I believe it. The whole Star Wars fandom's going to cancel me now, okay? But
you're directly linked with me.
As someone with extremely basic knowledge, if I go and just say something like that, Charlie is like, it's war, okay? Yeah. Like, no one can take anything lightly, It's not something that we can just laugh off.
I'm an original trilogy stan, and I don't degrade other people's opinions.
Funny.
It's only when they degrade my opinions is when I speak.
But I have to remind him, someone stating their own opinion does not mean they're degrading your opinion. Okay, that's something he still needs to learn.
When they say my opinion is wrong or it's incorrect.
Nobody tells you that. You just take it the wrong way.
All right, all right, Kylie.
I'm loving this.
I know. I'm never gonna be allowed back. I know. But
no, that's not true. The next
I'm just saying,
you're
it's
more
like
than welcome to come back on another community episode. I honestly, I want to bring you back for another one because you have that different perspective, and sometimes we need that perspective to look at. So thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Where can the people follow you if you have TikTok or social media to get those hot takes for Star Wars? Apparently.
Yeah, because that's
honestly
all
that could be your content, Kylie.
Yes.
Yeah, I strictly post Star Wars only. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have one Star Wars post, but you can follow me if you want to see content of Charlie because I do post a lot with him. Nothing Star Wars.
I dance in those videos, and it's not okay.
Yeah, so if you want to follow my TikTok to watch CharCharJay dance in the flesh, it's KK_money with 3 Y's at the end.
Well, Kylie, I appreciate you coming on. You were a whole lot of fun. Thanks for spicing it up.
Thanks for having me.
We will talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys.
All right, let's finish this bad boy off. Let's go. We're going triple. We're going quadruple.
Oh, we got the whole unit in here.
All
So how was watching me get exposed?
Chris, we can't hardly hear you.
Wait, hold on.
There we go. There we go. No, that was better.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Brian, you look tired.
How come I couldn't embarrass Char in front of his girl? That's all I want.
I mean, I could bring her back.
Bring her back. Bring her back.
You want her back?
Bring it back.
Is
Roll
she
it back.
here?
Wait, hold
Because
on.
I can
Make
pump
sure
out
she's
some
joining
things
us.
that I don't believe either.
Here we go. There we go.
Perfect.
Now it's time for exposing. Let's go. Throw the gauntlet.
So
All right,
Char,
let me put on my war face.
all right, you ready, Char? You ready? You ready?
I'll just say I came in my best Kevin Feige get up today because
Oh my god!
Marvel won and Star Wars came in dead last. So sorry. Loser.
Hey,
just
hey,
like Kevin
hey,
Feige.
you can see my Marvel poster back.
Hold
here.
on, hold on. I was taking notes during the stream. Here's all the stuff Marvel showed off today. And then hold on, Star Wars. Kenobi teaser was disappointing. That's the only note.
I mean, what's a man got to do to get some information about the Lando show, huh?
Exactly.
Who I gotta
It's
bribe?
been 2 years, and all I got is the person that's leading the show. That's all I got. We got more information about literally every other Star Wars project that's been announced. Why do they hate me?
No, they don't hate you. They don't hate you. Beth, though. So, what do you think? And then this can be an open discussion here, Kylie included. When do you think we're gonna get more teases of other shows?
So I think isn't D23 next, or like the modified version next weekend?
Yes.
I think we're gonna get something there. I'm sure with Investor Day coming up, they're gonna get something.
Yeah, they are, not us, not us peasants.
Well, I could potentially assist with that. That's all I have to say.
Oh! Oh no!
So pretend I didn't say that.
Okay, no.
What do you guys hear? I didn't hear anything.
Beth,
It's all good. It's all good.
Wait, actually, what did you say? Because I was taking off my glasses.
No,
and
nope, too late.
all I know is
like as a lawyer, I said nothing. What are you talking about?
all I know is Beth. I'm gonna see you in like a week, so we gonna have a conversation.
We're gonna have a great time. But I think I want to say they're definitely saving stuff for D23. Like I think that's evident. How much, who knows? But that's also where the famous conversation, hey, are we ever gonna see you as Obi-Wan Kenobi again, took place. So it would be like poetry, it rhymes if something were to come out.
I like the quote there. I like the usage.
There you go. Yeah. Life time's a flat circle. So those are my thoughts.
Chris?
You know, I held out very little hope of getting anything. Just because I was like, we're not gonna get Lando stuff. We're gonna get everything else eventually. Like Kenobi has a wider window, so I know we're gonna get something before Celebration. So I'm like, that's fine. I can wait. I just need some confirmation for things so I can just start making theories again and know if my theories are correct.
Exactly. And that's the part. And like I was saying earlier, like I really wish we would have gotten something new so that Star Wars would have something to talk about instead of the typical Rey's not a Skywalker or the sequels suck. Or I feel like new content would have helped avoid that as much. Anybody else have thoughts? And again, what was your favorite part about Disney Plus? I forgot to say that at the beginning. But yeah, go ahead.
I think you forgot because I was getting absolutely toasted by my own girlfriend.
I mean,
continue to toast him.
Yeah, she did a great job, Char. I think she might be my new co-host at this point.
Hey, Char.
I can continue.
So why you can answer this in a couple sentences. You can take some time to think about this question. Why
am I getting deposed right now?
Objectively, why do you think Empire is the worst Star Wars movie?
No.
Objection.
No.
Objection.
No.
Leading question. Objection.
It's not the worst, but it's overrated. It's overrated.
Oh, actually overruled.
Chaos is a ladder. Chaos is a ladder. This is what's happening
No,
here.
but I get that
We
all the
are
time.
unhinged.
And everyone's
This
like,
is
"Oh,
great.
why is Empire the worst movie? Oh, why is Attack of the Clones the best movie?" That's all I get.
I mean, Empire is my favorite movie, but I had to do that.
Hey,
It's only me there.
Or
It's me.
better.
It's only
Or
me.
better. I forgot. There's one specific person who always says this. I forgot who. But they ask you, why is Solo the best Star Wars movie?
Oh, I know that person.
Who says
He,
that?
his name starts with I and it ends with Sea Ghost.
Oh my
It's he who shall not be named.
It could have been if it was a Lando movie.
Hey, HR, why is
Okay.
Cad Bane better than Boba though?
He has a hat.
Yeah,
It's
I
the hat.
agree.
It is
I
the hat.
agree, Beth.
It's
It
the
is the
hat.
hat, and he's basically Clint freaking Eastwood. Okay.
Actually, from under the helmet, Boba Fett is actually Clint Eastwood.
You know what?
So,
You know what?
back off.
No, not anymore. Cad Bane has Clint Eastwood vibes, and I will not hear anything else of it. Now, everybody else talk but me.
And me.
a while.
And me.
And-
I'm-
yeah.
I still want to find out how they got Cad Bane from Dirge, but that's a different story.
Are we gonna have a Cad Bane appreciation moment? Because I'm totally cool with this.
Oh, I'm down with that.
I'll pop off.
I'm really disappointed no one has said the fact that Beth and I are both here. Like, this is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
I feel like you guys would be opposing counsel for some reason. I don't know why. I just do.
No, see, Beth and I are the perfect team. Like, you know, she's phenomenal at, you know, like research and writing and that prep part. And then, you know, I'd go into court and do it because
Except that you're civil rights law and she's corporate law. So I feel like there's that.
I mean, I used to do a little bit of corporate before I
And then you
switched
were
over.
like, no.
Before you
Oh, man.
realized that you had a soul and that you didn't want to sell it.
Well, before I realized I like having a life.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. Yeah, my trial days, I've second chaired and third chair to try. I'm like, I'm good. I'm straight up good. So I will but I mean I can do it if the chips come down, but I would much prefer to.
So
More of a
here's the other
behind-
question, real quick, for the lawyers. If we get into legal trouble, we got two of them, right? On retainer.
Double trouble.
Did you
Yeah,
pay them?
I'm just saying.
No, wait, we
Yeah,
didn't.
You
I'm
can't
saying
afford
that-
them, Luke. You can't.
I heard, you know, retainer. So I haven't yet to see that payment. Beth, have you seen payment?
I haven't. And is the podcast billable? Like, are we gonna be able to bill this time, or
That'd be very
You
nice.
know,
You can
after
try.
the last one, it got pretty bad. You know, you just
Luke bounces a lot of checks. As
Hey, no. And by the way, in the chat, Brian, we got some beef because I tell you what, that I'm telling you, I said from the beginning, and you could
which
take
part?
it to the bank, that Obi-Wan was
Oh.
leaving Tatooine.
I don't know how
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
missed Kieran and I's whole conversation about.
Oh, no,
Marvel
put it
Dome
down there.
though.
I don't think they missed that.
Oh, no,
That was the real out of hand conversation.
But X-Core, what did you think of Disney Plus Day?
It was weird. Like I was expecting even just like one person with like a laptop to maybe do an actual live stream instead of like an intern tweeting. So like that was weird. So I woke up late this morning and I was like, oh shit, I'll hop on the live stream. I'll fast forward to the parts that I don't really care. And it wasn't a thing. I was like, what? So I hung out with Pep for probably 2 hours, and then I watched some of the stuff. I haven't seen the Boba Fett thing yet. Unfortunately, I watched
It's
I
very
watched
good.
a lot of the other stuff. So
It's
I
very
made a
good.
TikTok on this already, but other than it being weird, Star Wars has its own thing. Like Star Wars has always had its own thing. So the fact that we got all the Disney, all the Marvel, all the everything else is like, yeah, that makes sense. The whole point of this day is to drive subscribers. So other than the way it was handled, I don't think they did a bad job. I am disappointed. I think they could have put together a trailer for Kenobi, and when we get to the part where we talk about Kenobi, I have like 1,000 thoughts. I'm probably going to do an entire podcast episode because I have things to say, but that was my take on it. It was a good job. All the Marvel stuff, like that what was it, a 20 minute, whatever it was, trailer for all the stuff where they did like
On
the
Disney
7
Plus.
Yeah, they did the 7 minute recap, and then we got the Hawkeye trailer, which I totally called on Tuesday or whatever day it was. I was talking to Chris.
It wasn't a trailer. It was a legitimate scene. It was
a-
what I said. I was like, we're not going to get a trailer. We're going to get like a 4 or 5 minute scene.
That's a trailer. I don't know.
It starts off as a scene and then it cuts into a trailer. So you
Okay,
kind of
yeah,
right.
It does cut back and forth between like them training,
Which is
fighting,
very
stuff like-
weird.
So, and then we got the She-Hulk. We got, oh my God, the Moon Knight. And I just have to say, like, him still working with Disney gives me hope. Like, I want Oscar Isaac back, like, yesterday. But
Finn Poe streaming show now, please.
Oscar Isaac said
Those
he'd come
two-
back if he needs a new house. So let's hope he needs a new house.
Finn Poe and Ray.
Chris is out there like lighting his house on fire. Like, needs a new house.
Yeah, imagine Chris like running up and like
Chris is like, I can
know
defend
nothing about this.
myself. I know how to do this.
No, it's just be outside their house and be like, Oscar, Elvira, Oscar, Elvira, until they're like, all right, we need to move. There's a crazy person that's found their house.
just show up with a boombox with the saying anything. Just
in the Finn cosplay.
Yeah, cosplay, and it's
And then when it's on fire, you're like, oh, veterans!
Oh no!
And you just have a mix of like the Resistance theme just playing over and over again.
No, we're gonna remix like Finn his own custom theme, and be like, here's my suggestion for the theme. You can use it.
I mean, I had an idea for a Finn Poe theme.
Exactly. I thought you might have one. So,
Brian, what do you think of Disney Plus Day? Obviously, we kind of got a little bit of your thoughts.
Wait, who's Brian? I know is that Kevin
Oh.
Feige? That's Kevin Feige
with a beard, obviously.
I think Kevin Feige could rock a beard. I mean, I'll be honest. Like Marvel fans, like we knew most of the stuff was coming. Although, like the X-Men announcement was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was awesome.
Exactly right. Like that was cool. The Spider-Man like animated freshman year series.
Is Tom Holland voicing?
I don't know.
I don't think he voiced his animation.
That is
for
like a
the
weird.
two.
Or is it Tobey Maguire? All right, No
Because
Way
it's
Home.
supposed to-
Go crazy.
well, because it's supposed to be MCU Spider-Man, so I would
Yes, no,
assume
no.
it would be Tom Holland, right?
Yes. Well, it is his
I don't think-
character. Is
I don't
the
think
voice
Tom
him.
Holland did the voice for What If, did he?
That's what I was gonna say,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure
We
he
don't know.
didn't.
But this
Oh.
series has to be in cooperation with Sony still because they still own the
Yes.
rights. So it's like
Yes.
interesting that they're doing this also. So everyone who's like, "Oh, the Sony deal runs out after like this movie," I'm like, "Yes, but that doesn't mean they're not going to continue. It just
So-
needs to be a new deal."
Sony doesn't have the money right now to do their own streaming service, so they really just need to cast their lot with Disney and just get the money for Spider-Man because I don't see how they can do a Spider-Man movie that the fans are going to like without Tom Holland and the rest of the MCU at this point.
Exactly.
I
It
agree.
it hinges on him, and they've already agreed with Disney to like license them the rights to the Sony MCU Spider-Man movies to be on Disney Plus starting like maybe next year
after No Way
their
Home?
current agreement with like whatever they're on right now.
Netflix, I believe.
Well, if those lawsuits prevail, then they'll definitely have a very contentious time using any Spider-Man character.
Oh yeah, that's
About the
true.
rights of the characters and the artists. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I thought they
That'd be,
settled though, didn't they?
No, so essentially they're suing now to stop the. I don't think they're using a TRO, but whatever order the families are using to enact that clause to say like, hey, we want to get paid, or you can't use it.
So what? So here's the thing: like, if that becomes a inherent like a problem, why doesn't Disney and Marvel just say, okay, you want royalties? We'll give you royalties every single time Spider-Man comes up, or whatever you guys get a cut of the percentage. Shouldn't
Because
it be that
Bob
easy?
Chapek is a cheap mother.
I hate that guy. He
There's
might
been
be the
way
reason
too
why
much.
we didn't get any Star Wars. To be honest
Bob
with you,
Chapek has been
Get
causing so
Iger
much
back
drama,
on the
especially
I'm not
with
gonna
Scarlett
defend Bob,
Johansson and
but like
and the
I
stuff
don't think I don't think he's as bad as everyone makes him out to be. Like, there's a lot of people making decisions in a corporation that big. It's not everything is Bob's fault.
He just
I mean,
makes
it's
it
fun to
easy.
blame one person.
It's just so easy.
You mean like how toxic fans blame Kathleen Kennedy for literally anything?
Yes.
He is the head that wears the crown, Brian.
Exactly. But my favorite like outrage right now is that they still haven't brought the trams at the parking lots back. But like Disneyland just raised the parking price another $5, and it's like, and you still have to walk now like half a mile to the park, and people are just like, seriously, like what the flip? That's a dumb decision. They
Take an
could have
Uber.
waited to raise the price till at least like the service was at 100%.
Someone posted a parking hack where you can like park at the Starbucks that's adjacent to the park, like connected to the park.
A lot of small
to that
businesses
Starbucks
around
and then-
like sports
and then
venues,
not pay.
parks like that will you can through like parking apps and stuff. You can like pay for parking for like $15-20 because like if they have
Spot
extra
Hero.
spots, like they might as well monetize them.
Yeah.
There's some of the hotels probably sell spots too that are on the east side of Disneyland, and they're like just as close, if not closer, than the parks, and they're easier to get in and out of because the traffic getting in and out of the Disneyland parking deck can be bad sometimes. So
There's a state fair here every fall, and like every business next to the fairground is selling parking.
Yeah.
It's
fair
like
in the
every single
fall.
Yeah.
It's called a harvest fair. You would think someone from the magical land of Nebraska would understand what harvest fairs are.
First of all,
I've seen a
do
beer
art
corn
in
or
the
two before.
Summer. All right, I will not have that in this podcast. No hate. Comes out of nowhere. Just because my football team is garbage right now doesn't mean we have to slam on my state, my guy.
Saying they're garbage is kind of generous.
How dare you,
The
sir?
Cornhuskers.
Wait,
don't
did I
even
hear?
meet the
Did I hear
level.
Detroit Lions?
I wouldn't even feed those corns to like a hog. That's how bad the Cornhuskers.
No.
Below garbage
Don't-
grade.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. We all know that Iowa's corn sucks, okay? Iowa's corn.
Do we? I
sucks.
don't know. I actually don't know the origin of the corn. I
Our
buy.
corn's decent.
It's all right. It's behind Iowa.
Illinois coin's pretty good.
Plus,
We
I
do
got
cherries
corn
over here.
When I buy it at the farmer's market, they would have me believe it's grown in New Jersey. So
I call bullshit.
I don't know if that's
but,
entirely
you
true
know.
though. We do grow tomatoes here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Harris?
How do we go from Disney Plus Day to growing crops?
I don't know.
Why not? I don't know.
We're 2 hours in, okay?
It's because you
I
it's because you invited me, and that's what happens. Have you watched
I mean,
the
no, hold on,
you know?
hold on. It's Lucasfilm's fault because if we had more to talk about, we would stay on that topic.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's not
honestly,
a
we should all
lot.
make videos about canceling Kathleen Kennedy because of it.
Oh my god!
At least.
I came here with like a joke in my head,
Kylie?
like
Kylie?
screw
Yeah.
Kathleen, like
Hit him
go
under
Kevin.
control,
Kevin's the
please.
hero today. Let's go Marvel.
I mean, if you want to talk about Disney Plus Day but don't have much Star Wars to talk about, can we talk about Hocus Pocus 2?
Sure, why not?
I haven't
But,
told
you
you
know,
about that yet.
Proud family, louder and prouder.
Yes.
Tiana.
I'm glad
Yes,
you got like a
Tiana,
Tiana,
I'm so
yes.
excited for. Like that, when that movie first released, it was like, okay, yes, great, love Disney princesses, you know, wonderful. And then we just never hear about her again. There was nothing else. Literally, it's like Princess and the Frog is out, and then we don't have anything, you know, for
I
years and
agree.
years. When there was like, even years ago, it's like The Little Mermaid came out, and then even The Little Mermaid 2 and 3, and like going on, and it was just, yes. Yes.
So I just want to interject here. Like, Kylie has given me more information about Disney Plus Day than I got from the Disney Plus Day.
Whoa!
Hire her.
I don't have
Hire
time
her.
to just sit there and scroll freaking Twitter. Like, I don't. I have two kids. So
I am
give-
considering the Disney college program now. I think I need to work for Disney because they need help.
So give me a live stream where I can watch it. Like,
Should I create my own podcast?
Yeah.
do something.
Disney
I mean,
college
I'm listening.
Yes.
Every
Like,
not
Brian, you need to go on a
Star Wars
podcast.
Disney.
I don't understand why they presented it this way. It just doesn't make any sense. You have all these billions of dollars, and your job today was to drive business, and you're telling people, "Oh, just watch our Twitter account all day." That's your job today. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
I
No.
have the suspicion that they did not feel like Disney Plus could handle the bandwidth of a multi-hour stream with millions of people watching it, and they did not want their app to crash.
Post
And
it on YouTube.
I
like
think they were
YouTube, everyone else.
lazy.
Like
Or
what
just
we're
use
doing.
Disney Plus for gosh sake.
Dude, honestly, at Friday at like 10 in the morning, they could have just put on ABC 7 and put it on TV if they really wanted to.
They could
They could have just
They could have
pre-recorded
done so many
it and
different
posted it on Disney Plus, just like they do with
Yeah.
every other movie.
They could have done a lot of things, but I don't understand Disney's marketing problems these past few years. I don't know who's making these calls.
I really hope next year it's not like a tweet.
It won't
like stream like
with
that's,
all
come
the
on.
with all the hate they got today. Like
They have to do
Julie was saying, because I wasn't following, I was just watching. But she was like, I feel bad for whoever's running this Twitter page right now because
The fact that DC Fandom did this better.
Brandon,
And
the
it's
content,
Warner Brothers.
the content itself. Although I'm excited for some of the DC stuff going forward. I'm just saying in the past, fandom has been well done, but the movies coming out are.
Hey, you don't bash on that new Batman movie. That looks
But I'm Kevin
bad.
Feige. It's my job. I have to. Shit.
Well, you know what?
What do you mean?
Hey.
It's what
Oh,
they
since
do.
you're Kevin Feige, then what
your
are you
Star
doing
Wars
for your
movie?
Star Wars movie, bud?
Yeah.
It's under wraps. I can't.
You hiring Chloe Zhao?
Yeah. Are you or
Maybe.
aren't you? Because we've got conflicting
We'll
reports.
see. What was the Andrew Garfield response? We'll see.
Hey, well, here's the more important question: what the hell are you doing with Sony, huh? You just gonna take them back, you know?
That deal. Let's just say that deal is a slam dunk, and we're just not gonna, we're not publicizing the details.
Just boom, boom.
Like they're not walking away from us paying for half the movie, and we're not walking away from MCU Spider-Man. So it's just like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna do this on their own. You guys saw the Morbius trailer. Is anyone actually that excited for that?
Honestly, I expected it to be worse.
True.
well, it's
But,
like that Batman trailer. It's like
me, Kevin Feige. I gave them notes. And
What
they
what
said,
you talking about, Core?
Yeah, what are you talking about? I love that trailer.
It looks like a Batman movie. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, Robert Pattinson, this movie's
That's
going to blow you
kind
away."
of the point,
and
my
I watched,
guy. It's
but
Batman.
but no. Batman Begins, great spin on the Batman franchise.
But
the Batman is okay. It's not Batfleck. Yay.
I mean,
But
but
here's
they're.
the Here's the
Go
thing.
ahead, Luke.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
You have to be excited for the Batman, though.
Yeah,
if
you
you
have.
like DC at all, you
I'm
have
really
to be
not.
excited for the Batman.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
And I'm Kevin Feige.
He's actually going to be. He's actually going to be a detective, which hasn't
according
really
to
been
what?
a thing.
Not according to that trailer.
Matt Reeves literally
That's
came
the
out
thing.
and said,
If you're saying we're putting this finally we're putting this detective spin on Batman that we haven't seen since the animated series, show me in the fucking trailer. Am I wrong?
You're not, but I trust Matt Reeves.
Okay.
I mean, but also, how much showing do you want a show
Yeah.
in a 2-minute trailer for a detective story? Because think about it, for a whodunit, what do you have? You have the suspects, the detective, and the person that got murdered. What do you have in this one? You have the suspect, you have the police, you have the detective.
Like, I'll be honest, a good trailer shows as much excitement as possible while giving away as little plot as possible.
And they did that.
That's the whole point. It's like
Beth?
build excitement, don't give away the story.
Go ahead.
I'm just
glad Batman has a job. Like, because he never has a job in any of the movies. I'm like, oh, okay, good. You're gonna understand the plight of the working class now, at least to some extent. So
Yeah, just a privileged kid who got all of his parents' money when they died, and never had to work a day in his life other than when a little flashlight came in the sky, then he's like, time to go to work. But now he
time to go
actually
beat
has
up
to
poor
act
people.
like a normal human.
I think you
gotta
might
beat up
enjoy
some
the
addicts and
animated
homeless
series,
people on the
but,
street, like
Can I just
I
ask
said it's-
why? I mean, I don't want to get put on blast for this, but why is everyone mad at Jared Leto?
I have no idea. I didn't watch the movie.
Various reasons. There are so many
Have you
different
seen-
reasons. I don't know.
Have you seen him as the Joker in any of the movies he was the Joker in?
Okay, all
Have
right. I'm going to say
Have
something
I
that
watched
is probably going to be
past, or have I
controversial.
watched the movies he was?
His Joker is not terrible. The only
I
reason
didn't think
why
so.
is because every Joker we've had has knocked it out of the park, but they've also had full movies to do so or full TV shows to do so. that in the 5 minutes that what we got with him in the Suicide Squad, which was a terrible movie in the first place.
Don't you mean Suicide
so.
Squad, not the Suicide Squad?
No. That's why. Wait. Is it?
You said
which one?
the
Which one? Is the
Is
Suicide
it
Squad
the
the new one
Suicide
or
Squad
Suicide
is
Squad?
it the Suicide Squad?
The first one.
Yeah, they named those movies as well as Xbox names fucking
See,
consoles.
me, Kevin Feige, had to do something so confusing. Okay, that was a bad move on their part.
I mean, but yeah, so I mean, he probably could have done better if he had given the time to actually be like the main villain.
Mhm.
So he's not that bad. But I mean, when you're following up Heath Ledger and you're following up Mark Hamill, you're following up Jack Nicholson, and even I can't remember his name right now, but the guy that did it in
Adam West.
No,
No,
that's
that
Cesar
was-
Romero. But the guy that did in Arkham Origins, and he's done a few other
Troy Baker?
things. Yeah, Troy Baker. They all did a phenomenal. I mean, Troy Baker's just doing a Mark Hamill impression, but they all did a phenomenal job.
Okay, so can I ask a question? All right. It seems like the problems are with the writing of the movie. So would you
WB
give
doesn't
Jared
know that.
Leto would you give Jared Leto another chance if the writing was better?
I would.
I don't know. He'd really have to stop doing the whole tat thing and going,
Okay, I don't think the tat thing is his idea, to be honest.
yeah.
He probably wasn't just like, he was like, you know what I need? A damaged tattoo on my forehead. That's really going to get the people. I am damaged.
I feel like if they gave him like a Mark Hamill type of outfit, like, and kind of wrote him a little bit better, I could see it.
I see him more as a Scott Snyder Joker. So Scott Snyder's run in the comics. I see him as more of that kind of Joker. Also, I'm getting a phone call, so I will be right back.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. I don't want another Batman movie unless it's Michael Keaton, Mark Hamill, and a young actor doing a Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
I don't care. Like, other than that, I don't care. Like, how many more times are you going to redo Batman?
A ton, because it makes
that's the thing. Like, it's my whole problem with WB. They're trying to go for like these amazing like scenes with characters I haven't gotten to know yet. That's what Marvel has done so well. Marvel did Infinity War. Marvel's gonna do Civil War. Like, Marvel took those set pieces that they had from the comics and then they did it over. How long has it been? Almost 20 years?
12 years. They started in 2008, if you really count that. Unless you want to go all the way back to the Raimi movies for Count No Way Home. But yeah, 12 years.
I'm talking about like Iron Man. When was Iron Man?
2008. Yeah, 12
so
years.
It's been 13 years. So they took that. And then you have WB that tried to do Death of Superman and Superman's second movie. It's like, no, this doesn't work.
So here's the thing. Here's the difference between what Marvel and Disney do and DC and Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is too hands-on, where Disney is hardly hands-on. It's more of Marvel doing everything. And they don't like DC doesn't have that one guy, doesn't have Kevin Feige as we see down here. They don't have a Kevin Feige like to say, "Hey, this is a comic run that we're going to do. Bing bong boom bong and make things happen." They just don't have that. And also
they need it.
Camilla, Boriaka Wookie, half of the Bad Batch
come on.
Bad Batch.
You can
support
tell you're
group.
from Nebraska.
Shut your mouth.
How did you pronounce that?
The
I'm just gonna Camilla, because I'm not gonna say that name because I'm obviously getting dragged through the mud, just like Adi Agalia yesterday.
Oh, that was fun.
That was bad. Like, my mispronouncing of words lately has been terrible. But glad to
could
see
be worse.
Camilla. She was at Disney, and I wish I could go to Disney, but I live in Nebraska, and we don't have anything here. So
jealous.
F in the chat, everybody. F in the chat for me not being able to go to Disneyland.
Oh, poor you.
Poor Luke. Oh,
So
no,
sad.
Mr. Someone with a 30-year-old job.
Harith, I haven't really heard your take on Disney Plus Day.
Well, again, like everyone else is saying, there's nothing really to talk about Star Wars wise, Marvel wise.
Well, tell us about
Moon
other
Knight.
stuff. Yeah.
Moon Knight. Hell yeah, I'm down.
Mhm.
Oscar Isaac going crazy and just killing people while being mentally crazy. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She-Hulk, I'm down. Looks like they're breaking the fourth wall again, like how she is in the comics. So yeah, I'm down with that. And then Hawkeye looked good.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yes.
Yeah, it did. I will say, like, that Kenobi though. Oof. Oh yeah.
Theories on what's gonna happen. I've already asked Beth. Like
Kenobi?
I want
Back to
everybody's
Kenobi?
thoughts on like I don't want like full like I just want like what you think is gonna happen, and then we'll go from there.
Do you want me to go last?
Happen in what exactly, or in general?
So, like, what do you think? How do you think the story is gonna play out? Like what are things that you want to see to make it a plus show for you?
Okay,
Wait,
he's gonna
which
walk
show
out
are
of
we
his hut.
talking about right now?
He's gonna look at the
Kenobi.
horizon. He's gonna
Oh.
pick up a
I'll
scoop of
pass.
sand and go. I don't mind this that much. I don't know why Anakin hated this so much, and that's the whole show. Kind of nice here.
Where is Sand Hater when you need him?
Harith?
Mine's. I'm not gonna ask anything story details because again, I don't want to just build it up in my mind because I'm just gonna let it disappoint myself. Because again, I think having expectations for like, oh, this is gonna happen.
So the opposite of me.
Yeah, basically opposite of you. So
I just make jokes. Yeah, I don't know why you guys want like a serious like, what do I think is gonna happen? I don't want any of that.
Yeah. So tonally, what I want from it is I want Ewan McGregor's performance from Doctor Sleep and the tone of Logan. That's what I want.
Interesting. Chris, did you hear anything that I asked earlier?
No.
What do you want? What factors of Kenobi, like what do you want Kenobi to be so that it's like what would put it at the top of Star Wars like show running, like anything at the top of your list? What would it have to do?
Pain. I want to see Obi-Wan be able to this is going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi needs to be Obi-Wan PTSD this show. Like he needs to be able to go through all his grief because this is the first time this man has really been able to just like sit back for really his entire life. Besides, I mean, you can't even count the year on the run with Satine. So he's got to mourn Qui-Gon. He's got to mourn Satine. He's got to meet Corky, his son. He has to mourn Anakin.
He's got to mourn Padme.
Yeah, he's got to mourn Padme. And
well, I mean,
then
the
he's
comics,
gotta do all this while
they mourn Shmi.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I want that scene. I want him to go to Shmi's grave and apologize and say, I failed you. I failed your son. And so then I can take that and put Leaves from the Vine under it and make you all weep on TikTok.
I am taking away your Filoni hat. Like, where is it?
This is blowing my mind.
Chris, now I know it's coming, so I won't cry as much. So you played yourself.
Oh, you say that.
Chris, can you
But-
narrate the show for me because this is blowing my mind right now. Like
Star
this
Wars needs
is
a narrator.
okay. I am not as big of a Star Wars fan as all of you, but like hearing Chris explain that, I'm like, oh shit, I need to see this. Like, this is why I liked Mandalorian a lot. Like, I was like, oh my god, they have a connection. This is so sweet and emotional, you know. And looking through, like, this is the part of Star Wars that I, as just a basic knowledge, average watcher, this is what makes me like it. And this is why I don't like some of the other ones that I'm like, okay, I didn't feel anything, you know? So I'm like, Chris, if you just explain the whole thing, that'd be great. Also, big thing that gets me into Star Wars, Grogu, Babu Freak. So just give me a cute or funny little guy and I'm good.
So we saw how
Kylie, do you know who Meeber Gascon is?
Don't
I
give
don't
her
even know
that
who that
character.
is.
He's not.
I don't know.
He doesn't have a cute voice. He's very small. I'm not a hater of Meeber Gaston.
He's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Because he's so tiny.
But he's got a male voice, and he's like, "We got a job to do."
I mean, is he funny though? Because Babu Freak isn't as cute as he is funny to me.
Hey.
Hey.
But
Well, Star Wars movies just need or TV shows just need short kings. Just bring in a short
Yes.
king.
True.
Or like you know how
Where's
they're
our short king?
making the Olaf series, the Baymax series. If I got a Babu Freak series, my life would be complete.
Pit Droid series. I think you might like that.
And I think the other thing is like we saw how Luke responded to failing Ben and the other Jedi, and Ben was not his son. Ben was his nephew, and he really was responsible for Ben from 10 to 13. Whereas with Obi-Wan, he wasn't just Anakin's teacher. He was his father. He was his brother. And now he thought he was doing right by him, but he has to come to grips with the fact that this was more Anakin's failing than his own failings. But he's going to feel that it's his fault.
And it comes from that movie right there. Oh, wait, this way, right there. Yeah.
So he's going to have to, apologize to Shmi, apologize to Qui-Gon, probably apologize to Padme.
Beth, same question to you.
What do I think is gonna happen?
No, what would put it at the top of your list of like this is A+ material? Like what would happen? What would have to happen for you to put it that high?
Have you guys read the Obi-Wan chapters from the certain POV books?
Yes.
Master and Apprentice? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I want all of that angst. I want all of the. I just need that Obi-Wan. And also, I'm not gonna lie, if we could have some like Clone Wars flashbacks, I'd be cool with that too. Just because like we love Clone Wars Obi-Wan.
Yes, yes we do.
Peak. Yeah, but no, I just want like the angsty, really emotionally messed up version. Because that is what truly brings me joy in life is just the angst. So I mean, already it's gonna be at the top. Like I don't. All Ewan McGregor has to do is like appear on screen and like, I don't know, look sad. I'm like, sweet, done, right at the top. So.
How you doing? What's going on, big country?
The Filoni hat is on.
All right, X-Score.
That's odd.
You got the floor now. Same question to you.
I have so many. I've had thoughts on this show for a long time. It doesn't look like we're gonna get it, but I've been holding out hope for Inquisitor Quirky since forever. Like that to me would make it that would be the be all end all. I don't think we're gonna get it. I think the plot, like my working theory is we've seen the Inquisitor, and at first I thought it was Trilla, but looking through the timeline, it's not her. It's too late. So Trilla died like 4 years before this, but I think an Inquisitor lands on Tatooine, and there's a confrontation because there has to be, and so Obi-Wan goes out looking for the Inquisitorius, and he finds through maybe Bail, because Bail's tapped into it all, that they're building the Death Star, and he goes to Jeddah where they're doing the mining and the construction, and that's where he fights Vader, because everyone I mean, Chaco mentioned it, but like everyone forgets about the line. They're like, oh, that's going to retcon. It's like, no. Vader says to him in A New Hope, you should not have come back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the fight's going to be, because they've teased the fight. So
Jeddah would be interesting.
It's got to be. Like that's the only way I can see it working. I mean they'll do whatever they're going to do. They've already done it. It's wrapped, but like that's what makes the most sense to me. Like
could also be on Ilum.
But they're not. But they didn't mine Ilum for that. Ilum is the Starkiller base.
But they still did mine it from it, and we still don't know where Palpatine got that big doggone crystal of Kyber from.
So when looking at the concept art, I know Char, you said it looked like lava. To me, when they were like clashing, it looked like a burning village. I don't know why I saw that in the concept art, where like when Obi-Wan and Vader were clashing, it looked like they were surrounded by a burning village. That's what I saw.
So, and the other thing that I can't wait to see in this show is the moment where Kenobi realizes that the man in the suit, because I want him to like. So from what I understand from a director interview a while ago, or a story group interview, it was that Vader's going to be a background character for the majority of the show. Like he's the guy in the shadows. He's the guy but you don't find that out till like the end, or Kenobi doesn't. And so I want to see the moment where Kenobi realizes that this monster in the suit is Vader Anakin. Like, that's the moment I'm waiting for. But other than that, like, it's going to be Star Wars. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to love it, because as much as I have rankings of all my Star Wars, I love all of it.
Camilla.
Hello.
Glad you could make it towards the end. You made it just in time.
You guys were talking, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, can I come hang out?"
Same question to you. Like, what would put Kenobi at the top? Like, what are things that it has to hit for you to be a top-notch Star Wars telling?
I think it's like, what's been discussed about just like exploring what he's dealing with emotionally, and like his own emotional trauma and his own journey. It's the fact that it's like, it's interesting, the fact that it's set. It's what, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, right?
It's approximately it's approximately 9 BBY, if I recall the timeline. 9 to 10 BBY.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so he's been out there for a minute, and he's in the thick of it, but it's like, why? I'm interested in why now. What is it about 10 years later that makes it the story that needs to be told? What is it about the state of the galaxy at this time? The concept art shows different planets that are absolutely not Tatooine, so it's like, what is it about this time that will take him potentially off Tatooine? Or maybe not. What is it about like the other players in the galaxy at this time? Like that's what I'm most interested and excited about. And then I also mentioned this in the chat, but like Deborah Chow as the director is so exciting to me, because it's like really exciting to have a female director, and then also to get Obi-Wan's story through a female lens and the female gaze, which tends to be more emotionally driven, and I think that's just perfect for what we need to explore Obi-Wan's story. So I'm very excited for that. And yeah, I'm just like really interested. Why now? What is it about 10 years later? I know there's like, do we have like official canon confirmation that like that's when he's like finally started connecting with Qui-Gon?
Sort of,
yeah,
yes.
It's in the Skywalker book, what the Skywalker family of whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What? Yeah.
Walker family at war.
Yeah.
So like obviously that's a big like this. So Liam Neeson's going to be in it. Not to say something that deals with tempering expectations, which we've all learned around the today. Liam Neeson's going to be in it. But yeah,
to discuss the whole Qui-Gon thing. So, from a certain point of view, we know Qui-Gon doesn't fully become a Force ghost until about A New Hope. So we know if Liam Neeson's going to be in the show, it's just going to be his voice.
And that's what it was in the cut scene with Yoda in Revenge of the Sith that got cut out, which I really dislike that it was cut out, because it brings Qui-Gon back into the fold in the prequel trilogy.
His voice is in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, he never becomes
the Mortis
full Force ghost, right?
No, so he's in a vision in Mortis, but I have my own theories on Mortis, so I leave it out when we're actually discussing stuff. He is a Force ghost at the end where Yoda's doing his training.
He's the voice.
Not you hear his voice, yeah, because he can't. Qui-Gon cannot take bodily form. He didn't complete the training.
I thought you were talking about like seeing Qui-Gon's spirit, which was the illusion on Mortis during that arc.
Mortis isn't real.
Yeah, I have a thought on that. I feel like once Yoda completes his training in it, he's able to bring Qui-Gon into that fold and the reason why I say that is because he was able to do that for Anakin. It was Yoda being one with the Force that was able to bring Anakin, like, I don't know how the best way, it raptured Anakin's Force spirit to do that, because otherwise why is Anakin showing up? Like, he's the chosen one. But
I would agree with you, except that from my understanding of it, it has to happen when you die. So like there's a thing where like his bodily form is part of the cosmic force. It didn't stay with the living force type of deal. It's Star Wars. It doesn't make sense, but that's just my take on it. But I mean, you could be right too. So
Yeah, I mean, who knows? If we need to see whether Anakin and Luke went with their metal parts. Are they, full, corporeal forms, or do they have some metal when they became one with the Force? That is the key indicator.
Well, you have to look at the scene in Rise of Skywalker to really get there. I'm gonna look at
I don't want to watch that movie again.
I gotta look at those two. You don't have to watch the whole movie. You just gotta look at those two scenes because I don't recall. I don't recall at the end of Special Edition Return of the Jedi whether Anakin has hands or not because it's not very clear. I think he does. I think he pulls back his hood, but I'm not 100% on that.
It's if you remember, it's basically just the same version as the normal version. Just Sebastian Stan's head is just cut off, and they put Hayden Christensen's. So it's literally the same body. He probably has both his hands too.
I'll rewatch that scene just to hear the true superior song "Victory Celebration."
I mean, you can be wrong all day. It's fine.
But I'm trying to think.
Luke has been drained. We made too many jokes about Nebraska.
No. I mean,
Could be worse. Could be Ohio.
Whoa!
This is serious.
Whoa, wait, Camilla,
Yes.
do you like Ohio? Like, what's the story there?
I was born and raised in Ohio. Go
So you're-
Bucks!
oh,
wait,
God.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Camilla.
God.
What is like? Why does everyone hate? What
Be-
is? Don't make
because-
your stupid
because-
astronaut joke, Chris.
Because
My astronaut joke is hilarious.
it is hilarious. So my whole
Ohio's
thing
just
is
boring.
mine's more football, and like y'all have been good forever. Can you just let somebody else win?
Okay,
Can I
here's
just
the
say
thing about
who has
Ohio.
an acorn as a mascot?
It's not an acorn. It's a nut. So
Acorn is a type of nut, okay?
See,
a
here's the thing
delicious
about
dessert,
Ohio.
and it's also poisonous. So
What are we talking?
Ohio is that one auntie that can't cook, but you still got to invite her to the family functions, and you still got to eat their food.
that is one of the worst things I've ever heard you say.
Chris, you don't give them no when like for my family, like we assign my one aunt who can't cook, we assign her like to bring dessert of her choosing, and then no one eats it. Like you don't give her a staple. You don't
I'm
make her
too
bring
full.
like
I ate too
cornbread
much before.
or like something nothing important to the meal. 'Cause, like that'll ruin everyone's day.
I'm happy
Well,
all
she's
my
al-
aunts know how to cook.
I just
Charlie
love-
doesn't know how to boil water, though. Just wanted to let you all know that.
Can Charlie burn a pot like a pot of water? Can he burn the water?
Charlie, how you not know how to cook, man?
He was trying to
Chuck
make. I
Johnson
can tell the
does not
story.
know how to do anything.
Charlie can't tell
Gar,
the story.
can you tie your own shoes?
Does she have
He-
to
he
wipe?
actually-
does she have to
he
wipe
learned
for
how-
you, or
he learned how to
Did
tie his
Kylie
shoes
pick out
last
that
week,
outfit for
guys.
you?
This is garbage.
I actually did. I bought that top he's wearing. Thank you for noticing.
I did not realize this was going to be a roast. Jar
We
Jar.
killed Charlie.
This is what happens when you guys let
Look,
me in. I can't help it.
before Kylie like absolutely destroys me here, just do the scene or just hum the when Vader rises out of the chair.
no.
No.
I don't even have to
Where
come in. He
is
just
Padme?
embarrasses himself anyway.
Is she safe?
I mean,
Is
like,
she
I'll be honest.
alright?
I thought like Char's mom bought all his own clothes for him. To start, so,
Same.
it's not.
I
it's like
mean,
the same thing.
but it's his wardrobe comes from me or her mostly.
Okay, so
I'm going to help out Char. I let my wife buy all my clothes because
It's
I
easier
don't
that way,
care
right?
what I wear.
It's not a bad choice.
Like I don't care. I really don't care.
I mean,
Like,
see,
it were up to me,
neither does he.
you're
I'd wear
good. We're not
sweatpants
roasting
all
you.
the
We're
time.
roasting Char.
yeah.
I'm trying to
like,
help. I'm trying to
Stop
help.
trying to
him
take a
out.
bullet
Like,
for
don't-
Char. Why would you do that?
And
It's not worth it.
Can I
also
tell
needed
the?
a sweatshirt.
I can tell the story of why Charlie doesn't know how to boil water. Hold
Oh.
on.
Wait.
Oh my God.
It's Disney Plus Day.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Let's
Hey.
go.
No, it's genuinely serious. He doesn't know how to boil water. It wasn't.
How do you not know
No,
how to boil
I
water?
just-
You just
I
turn
I
it on,
just
wait
did
for
it
it to
too
boil.
soon.
Or
What do you mean?
I
fry
was
an
making
egg.
raviolis. Leave me alone.
Or
Did
fry
you
an egg.
boil
Yes.
all the water out?
No, this is what happened. So Charlie was gonna make ravioli. Okay, first of all, Charlie was gonna make
Pancakes.
ravioli. And obviously, this pasta you have to boil, okay? It's pasta you have to boil, right? It
This
was also
like
frozen,
a year and
right?
a half ago. Leave me alone.
That was not. That was literally like 6 months ago. So
Not canon.
Okay,
So
Not
the
canon.
let her tell the story. Let her
Not
tell the
canon.
story. Come on.
That's EU.
So first mistake, Charlie finds a pot to put the water in. He puts it on the stove, all right?
Yep.
Then he goes into the pantry to a case of plastic water bottles
Jesus,
and
you did
starts
not.
grabbing water bottles and
You
pouring it
did
into the
not.
pot.
No, he did.
And I'm like, Charlie,
We're gonna have to have a whole episode of just hey 101. We're gonna teach Char how to boil water.
and you know, it hurt me especially because I'm Italian and he's trying to make pasta right now. Okay, he's trying to make ravioli, and
He's
he
using the
wouldn't let
freshest-
me help him.
The freshest water from the Poland spring.
He
and poured it
said, I
directly.
can do it. He's going into the pantry, getting the ice mountain, and pouring it into the pot. And I asked Charlie, I'm like, Charlie, just fill it up with the sink. And he was like, but this is filtered spring water in the water bottle, okay? I'm like, you know, when you boil it, it becomes filtered and clean water. But anyways,
Kind of, yes.
he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. So he doesn't fill it up with the sink. He starts filling it up with water bottles till his mom comes over and says, what are you doing? Then he listens to his mom and he fills the pot up with the sink water, okay? The rest of the way. Before, at first, when she said just
Can you
fill
leave
it
me
up with
alone?
the
I want to
sink,
play with my little Mickey.
it just it gets better and better. So after he had already poured like 3 bottles of water into a pot this big, so the water only filled up to here with like 3 bottles, then his mom said just fill it up with the sink water. So then he picks up the pot and goes to dump all the water from the bottles into the sink, into the drain, you know. And then we're like, okay, so now you're just wasting 3 bottles of water. You're not even going to keep that and just fill the rest with the sink. Whatever, he dumped it out. He filled the whole thing up with the sink. Then
Can't mix waters.
turns the stove on. And then he opens the pasta and tries to pour the pasta in right away. But no, you got to wait for the water to boil before you put the pasta in, right? And so I said, Charlie, no, you have to wait for it to boil. He goes, it is boiling.
This is going to be the best episode. It's getting the best views
gonna-
right
we're
now.
gonna turn these
So
into
it
sound bites
seems
here.
like Kylie needs to replace you ASAP.
Yes.
Because
You know, it is what it is.
Hold on.
We
I
didn't
don't
even
feel
get
like
to the
there's any
boiling
dynamic
part
that
yet
Char's not
either.
here
It's
to get
just
roasted.
Wait, what did you say? X score?
I said I feel like this dynamic doesn't work if you're not actually here to get roasted, though.
Not
that's
really, but like Char says some stuff that's out of pocket sometimes about the rest of us. So like, it's only fair. that
Yeah,
we're
this
just,
is
like,
true.
Dishing it back cold and unboiled
I need
water.
to humble
so-
him sometimes. He needs to be humbled.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyways, he literally just turns the stove on. It's been 2 seconds. He's opening the pasta to pour it in. I said, no, you have to wait for it to boil. He said, it is boiling. And I said, no, it's cold water. Boiling happens after it gets hot. So then he's mad at me. He's like, fine, throwing a fit with a big attitude because he doesn't like to be told what to do or that he's wrong. Okay?
Empire
Big
Security.
attitude. Acting like a big baby. Okay? Then he steps back. It's been about 3 more minutes at this point. There are itty bitty bubbles starting to form at the bottom of the pot all around the rim. And he looks at me and he goes, is it boiling now? He thinks it's boiling at this point. Itty bitty bubbles on the bottom corners of the pot. Okay? I'm like, no, Charlie, it's not boiling. I'm never letting Charlie get together with my wife. Why not? I think we get along great. Okay.
That's the problem.
Anyways, Charlie is
Charlie, I
now
got a
throwing
very
a temper
important question.
tantrum. Yes.
So wait, hold on. I do have a question. Char.
Does Charlie know how to use seasoning?
No.
He's
definitely.
never tried because he doesn't know how to cook.
But Char, when your parents go away for like weeks during the winter to Florida and
He
leave you home,
DoorDashes. He
do you
DoorDashes.
starve? Or
Wait,
do you
no,
eat cereal?
I feed him. I
Wait,
feed him or Jersey Mike's. Gets a
Or
Jersey Mike's sub
microwave.
every day.
I do
Billy
get
cheesesteak.
my regular 42, no, regular 43 on white.
Holy shit, folks.
Cheesesteak,
And
Or microwave meals. Charlie is the king of the microwave. Okay, that's what he can do.
Hey, mastering the
And he
microwave
can make a
is
good
skill.
turkey sandwich.
Although, wait, Char, do you heat up everything on full power? Because if you do that, then you're just
No,
we gotta
that's
throw
not
you
how that
out
works.
with the trash.
I do it on high.
The last,
No, not
the
everything
last,
on high.
the last
That's not how you
20
reheat
minutes of this
leftovers.
podcast has been just off the rails.
I love
Okay,
it.
okay, you want to get back on track? Let's talk about some of the other weird hits of Disney Plus Day, like Sneakerella. What did you
Yeah,
guys
I
think of
want to
that
talk
one?
about that. I want to talk about that.
Tell me
Okay.
your thoughts.
Guys, I'm running out of steam here. Like making fun of
Come on,
Char.
Swear to God. No,
making
I
fun
swear
of
to
Char
God.
is great, but it's draining my energy.
I promise I will not say anything about him. Okay, I'm genuinely going to talk about Sneakerella.
Okay.
Okay.
You better.
Okay.
And that's and that and then we will have to end because it's going on almost 3 hours, and I wasn't planning 3 hours. So
I wasn't planning on coming in at all, but all of our nights had a different plan, I guess.
The
Okay,
dark side is a
Sneakerella.
pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
All right.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
Sneakerella. I think we've had some great versions of Cinderella in the past,
Brandy's
like
is the
the
best.
Selena Gomez, the Hilary Duff, the Brandy with Whitney Houston. I think those Cinderella movies were great. Progressively, and into recent times, like the Amazon Prime Cinderella movie we just got with Camila Cabello, I think we're just going down, and it may be time to stop making Cinderella movies. Just my opinion. So
Anybody
there was
else got anything to add
nothing
on that one?
nothing wrong with Cinderella to begin with. So if there's nothing broken, why fix it? And we're just going downhill, in my opinion.
I'll give it a chance. I will watch it. Like I promise, I will watch it. I don't have the highest expectations of it, but I don't think it's gonna be like garbage because like Disney
Right.
spent good money on this, so like
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
I think it's also good that, I mean, they're trying to change it up a little bit. The Cinderella character is a guy this time, and the Prince Charming is a girl this time, you know? They're like, okay, we're going to make a Cinderella movie about a boy and who's a sneakerhead. I don't know. I think, like, the sneaker idea, it could be great because of the glass slippers, you know, with sneakers now or something. Maybe it's genius. I don't know. But I feel like just the trailer doesn't sell it for me.
It seems like a higher budget Disney Channel original movie.
Chris said exactly what I was thinking. Chris said exactly what I was thinking.
Anybody else?
I mean,
anybody else want to comment on that one?
I had no idea it was a thing. So
I also want to bring up like the fact that like John Mulaney's comeback now is going to be voicing an animated chipmunk.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Chippendale.
Did you not
he's
see that?
Chippendale.
Oh, right. I
John
forgot.
Mulaney
Chippendale.
added Amber- adding
Honestly,
Andy
so when I
Samberg.
saw that, I thought of the Chippendales, the dancers from
dancers?
Saturday Night Live with Chris Farley,
Often
and I was like,
confused.
John Mulaney, that's the comeback? I don't think that's a good idea.
Often confused. Yeah.
Newly
Also,
fathered.
did you guys see the new Home Alone thing they're making?
Yeah, I'm not interested.
I didn't
I
see
saw
anything
people
about it.
hating on
I
it
just
on
saw like
TikTok.
the title.
They
I didn't.
released the
I
trailer
haven't.
like last month, and it was okay.
I have
I
no
think the most
interest in
exciting
Home
thing is
Alone
that
past
like-
the first one. So
I think they've basically confirmed Macaulay Culkin's going to appear in it, right? That's like the one highlight of this, I think.
That's the only thing that would make it really good. I think.
He had agreed on social media to just do the movie over again, and I think that would have just been better.
Yeah.
I like him
What a-
pretending to be like an 8-year-old, but like as a,
Yeah.
a 30
Yeah, just it's
year-old
just a
guy.
reshoot of the original movie, just with him as Kevin.
Yeah,
That'd be funny as hell.
and he's in
Come on.
quarantine. It's the 2020 pandemic, and he can't leave his house.
I mean,
If
I
people
don't know.
try to break into his house to steal his stuff, there you go, problem solved. We just
All right.
recontextualize the plot.
All right, y'all. All
You
right.
don't want to talk about Disenchanted, Luke?
I'm sorry.
My long-awaited sequel to
I'm-
Enchanted. My favorite Disney movie.
I have zero energy left. I am literally broken, and I did not interpret that this was going to go this long, but it did. I'm glad it did. But let's get everybody's social media so that everybody in the chat. By the way, we got 12 people watching, so that 13. We should
Well,
just keep
hold
going,
on.
but we
How many of you
can't.
guys have the stream open on your computer right now?
I do.
Plus,
mean,
like Brooke,
that's
Aiden.
fine.
I
That's fine.
have it open on YouTube on my phone,
Okay,
so I can
that's
interact
fine.
with the chat.
So
Hey,
I think it might be St. Pat if Vanessa's still there. Carter.
Let's
It
not
may
ruin
be,
this moment.
Cat Lady JJ.
How about you just give me this moment, okay? Please.
I mean, we could all go play Ewok Hunt, and y'all could all watch me freak out.
Oh, we could. We could definitely do that.
I'll watch my brothers on the PS5, then I can't.
Ooh, that sounds like a great idea. But all right, let's start with Camilla. You go first. Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me on TikTok. My username is @BoricuaWiki. It's on the screen. And I also have a Star Wars narrative podcast. It's called Beings of the Galaxy. You can find that wherever pods are cast. And yeah, you can listen to some TikTok friends or have been in that, including 2 folks on this current pod. I love the fist bump.
well, that's what we're here for. We love
you up.
this is also sometimes our workout. You know,
It's good. It's good.
We've kind of lost our minds. It's kind of time to end, and you're just
I got absolutely annihilated by my
Luke's
lover.
bedtime normally during the week. Like it's,
no, this is
it's
just how it goes.
Early to bed.
It's been an emotional day, so
Yeah.
I get it. But yes, you can listen to both Beth and Chris in Beings of the Galaxy, episode 2. And Beth, what was your episode? Episode 4, I think, or 3.
It was 4. Yeah.
Sick. I'm glad you know that. I should know that. But anyway, but yes, Beings of the Galaxy. It's a Star Wars narrative podcast. I said that. Also on Instagram @Beings of the Galaxy Pod. And all the links are in my bio on TikTok as well. So that's me.
And she will also be a guest coming up soon.
Hey!
Almost everybody will be have been or will be on the pod, and that's including maybe Kylie. We'll see. This was a trial. This was a trial
She'll be
run.
on
We'll
as
see.
my replacement.
Catch me here every week because I just stole CharCharJay's job.
Okay.
Rich or poor, right?
Let's go, Harith.
As for usual, Hair Productions on TikTok. This is not my first appearance, like you said. It's probably so. Hair Productions on TikTok. I'm half of the They Fly Now Show podcast every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Carter's in the chat somewhere. I don't know. He's probably just screaming somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Punching the air. Let's go, Beth.
Oh, so I'm Mara.j.skywalker on TikTok, and actually I did just do the Instagram thing. So I don't remember my Instagram name off the top of my head. However, if you go to my TikTok, you can click on the link and it'll take you to my Instagram. So that's where you can find me.
And Beth will be on in 2 weeks with Julia to talk some Mandalore.
So excited. So excited.
Do you want me to share your username? Because I have it pulled up.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Thanks. Thank you.
Camilla coming in hot.
It is Elizabeth.a.gale at Instagram.com.
Bam.
Camilla's my
All
better
right.
half. So
Let's
You're
go
my better
ahead.
half. So
no, you're my better half.
By the way, I gotta connect with you two later. Content stuff. I got ideas. Chris.
Okay. So yes, I am Chris, aka Star Wars Lawyer. You can find me on TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at Star Wars Lawyer. I have a podcast called Too Black, Too Nerdy, where you can listen wherever pods are cast. And my brother just released his feature film. It's on Amazon, YouTube, and Google Play. For rent or for purchase, I am the assistant director. So not only are you supporting him, you're also supporting me. So yeah, go watch it, go rent it, buy it, leave a review, and give it some stars.
What's the name of the movie? You have to tell us.
Oh, did I not say that?
You just are like, it's available on these platforms. You can go try to search for it.
I'm an assistant director of a film. Go see it. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it ain't like the movies.
Gotcha. Yeah, if I type in Star Wars Lawyer into Amazon Prime,
I don't think it even pop up.
I hope it doesn't pop up.
X-Core, where can the good people follow you?
I am Xcore Gamer Skills everywhere. I show up to the chats on all the podcasts, but I'm on TikTok. That's where I started. I'm back from my mental health break finally. I know it's been a while. I am the co-host of the Conspiracy Cantina podcast, where most of you have been guests, so that's awesome. I will get more of you on soon. That is every other Tuesday. It's moving to Friday nights as soon as I start my new job because I'll be working Sunday through Wednesday at night. So that's going to be fun. But and I am also on Twitch. I am streaming Jedi Fallen Order, and I have to plug Anthony Ready Comics Roll. He is an amazing person, and because I am between jobs and wasn't going to buy the KOTOR port, he literally gave me a Nintendo eShop gift card, and he's just another example of why I absolutely fucking love this community. So yeah, that's me. I am everywhere. Xcore Gamer Skills. Search it on any social media except Instagram and Facebook, and you will find me, and you can follow me. I will follow you back, and we can have fun.
Bam. Brian with the beard.
I'm
Beard
Kevin
Brian.
Feige. You can find me at the Studios. At the office building. Okay, anyways, I'm Brian with the beard on TikTok. I don't post TikToks. You can follow me, I guess, on Twitter at GingerBeardMan.
He's a great follow on Twitter.
Where all the E's are threes. And yeah, I don't really post on Instagram either. So Twitter's my main the place you can find me.
Imposter.
Oh, and I just want to say to Camilla, Ewok episode of Beings of the Galaxy when?
You can add it to the list. But season 1 is coming to a close pretty much very
Congratulations.
soon. But
That's
thank you
awesome.
very much. But you can add it as to the potential list.
Is it going to be an Avenger style ending, or are you going to bring back everybody?
No,
fight
because
one foe?
you haven't gotten have you gotten an email from me or anything, Chris?
Maybe I wouldn't disclose that kind of information.
Chris has more loyalty than leaguers is on No Way Home.
Information?
No, that's too much work for me, and I'm a little.
Kylie, again, where can the people follow you?
Well, I have 0 Star Wars content, but if you want to see Charlie do a little boogie every once in a while on my TikTok, you can follow KK_money with 3 Y's.
Co-host?
That's me again.
Hi, I'm CharCharJay. You
Very
can
well
find
played.
me
I like
at
that.
CharCharJay on TikTok.
Well, I'm CharCharJay, and you can find me on TikTok at CharCharJay, and you'll find me here every Thursday on the Podwans podcast with Luke. And yeah, that's where you will mainly find me. So,
Guys, thanks to everybody that came on. I really appreciate it. This is a great community. The first one. It's certainly not going to be the last one. I can tell you that right now. We had a whole bunch of fun. So
yeah, I know where the fun came from.
Everybody is welcome back. The door is always open. You can follow us at the Podwans podcast on TikTok, at Podwans on Twitter, and the Podwans pod on Instagram. But for everyone here, everybody in the chat, thank you. Everybody that came on earlier, this community is amazing. You guys all inspire me. I appreciate you all. And may the force be with you.
Always. Thank you guys for
Also
coming
with
in.
you. Thank you so much for having me.
There are more of us.